It's first days in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. So glad to have you, Pearl. I know you've been thinking about the Steelers quite a bit, as we all have, because this is kind of a legacy play this season for a few different members of that historic and storied organization. Mm-hmm. Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, and also TJ Watt. And I don't know how many people walk around thinking about TJ Watt, but if you are, you may not realize, because it even took me a little bit by surprise, Pearl, that he has never won a playoff game in his entire NFL career.
I was very surprised because it feels like he's been around forever. And the Steelers, as I recall, used to win playoff games.
Well, it's been 8 years since the Steelers won a playoff game, and TJ Watt has played for 8 seasons. So, yeah, he's been to the playoffs, no doubt, but never won a playoff game. And, you know, him being injured, I believe in the 2021 season, he didn't even suit up. So, you know, it's something that's on his mind. He talked about it with Graham Benzinger in an interview called In Depth, said being winless in the playoffs for his entire career is unacceptable.
Winning a Super Bowl is no doubt motivating me, and winning a playoff game is absolutely motivating me. It's something that we haven't been able to do since I've been there. I think that's absolutely unacceptable, and that is what's attached to my name right now.
Yeah, more from TJ Watt says, you know, not having a playoff win makes it pretty hard to stack himself with other Steelers legends.
To have that to your legacy, especially when you play for an organization that has 6 Super Bowls and has, when Mean Joe Green comes back, it's Mean Joe Green, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. I don't even know how many Super Bowls he's won. You know, Jerome Bettis, 1 or 2-time Super Bowl champion. Like, it's like, TJ Watt, yeah, great individual player, but what's the team success?
Should meet his brother TJ. He's the man.
Okay. So it's TJ Watt who's clearly wearing this, and I understand he just got a massive contract extension. But I don't know if he's the only one who's feeling like there's a lot of urgency on this season. And I think you and I don't see the Steelers in 2025 the same way. Like, I do think Aaron Rodgers has something to prove. I do think Mike Tomlin has something to prove. And obviously, TJ Watt feels like, despite the Defensive Player of the Year, all the first-team All-Pros, he's going to walk into Canton, all that, but obviously this one big hole in his resume.
Well, it's not that I disagree that they have something to prove. I think all 32 head coaches and every player on every team has something to prove. I just think that I'm not doing the Aaron Rodgers, let's talk Super Bowl thing ever again. Been burned too much. I mean, maybe it's a Brett Favre goes to the Vikings situation, but I look at this team, I think people will be shocked if this was the year he got the playoff win. If anything, I just think that everybody's grown around the Steelers, and now they're in this brutal division. They have 2 probably better teams in Cincinnati and Baltimore ahead of them. I just think the Steelers have lost the plot. They just are not good enough on offense to win a playoff game. So this is 0% TJ Watt's fault.
I don't really hold it against TJ Watt. I don't know if there are people out there who do. You know, him being injured for one of those runs, I don't know, you know, what you say about that.
I mean, he's 0-4 in playoff games. The injury is not the problem that he's played. He's got 1 sack in those 4 games. But the thing is, it's the offense. It's always been the offense under Tomlin. Ever since he let go of the high-octane guys, once Ben got old, he just does not prioritize offense enough to help a guy like TJ Watt. Do you agree that's the main problem, not the defensive side of the ball?
I think it will be remembered as the team letting TJ Watt down. I will agree with you there. It's a little like we were talking in the show, like, oh man, who are the really great players who never had playoff success, but we felt like they were absolutely Hall of Famers? Obviously, Joe Thomas, that's the one you brought up, was the biggest one because he never even played in a playoff game, but we knew he was going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think Joe Thomas gets a lot of sympathy. He was like, wow, and like respect. You go, wow, you stayed with the Browns that whole time. You could have left and you decided to stay with them even though they were going through over seasons and stuff like that. I think TJ Watt will not get the same amount of sympathy that Joe Thomas did, but I think that people will say, like you said, the Steelers lost their way more than, wow, TJ Watt really disappointed them. Although maybe a Steeler fan would feel differently about that.
I mean, the famous record they are without him, they're 1-11 when he's not on the field.
Yep.
He is, to me, And I think he's the closest thing to an MVP of the league on the defensive side of the ball.
More than Myles Garrett.
Yes. I think he's got, when he signed his contract, there were a lot of stories about how TJ Watt's numbers are better than Myles Garrett. The team has gone much farther than Myles Garrett's team has consistently. I just think also what TJ Watt can do that Myles Garrett can't do is TJ Watt's a fumble forcing machine. He just disrupts everything. I think I put him just a tick above Myles Garrett. I'm sure that's debatable, but he disrupts everything. He's not great against the run necessarily, but you have to find Myles Garrett. Trust me. But I feel like TJ Watt, I think he was hurt at the end of last year. Throughout his career, it's been a little more consistent. I've seen games where I've bet on the Browns and Myles Garrett has totally disappeared. Then I've seen games where Myles Garrett just terrorizes everybody. But TJ Watt, for most of his career, has been kind of relentless. So I would go with TJ Watt. Also, they both won one defensive player. Their resumes are going to look quite similar at the end. He's fantastic. I just think that, you look at the equivalents. Same thing with Nick Bosa is right there with both those guys. Yeah. But he had a great offense.
Sure.
So we're just like...
And maybe one of the best offensive minds in Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, exactly.
As much as we criticize him for failing in the biggest moments.
So the story of TJ Watt's career is going to be he was fantastic. The Steelers let him down. I don't think they're going to win a playoff game this year. And you said this is a sort of a legacy-making year. I'm sorry, this is your legacy-making year. Because you traded for DK Metcalf, you lost George Pickens, who looks amazing in Cowboys camp.
Well, of course he does. It was never about the talent with George.
But the thing is, you still have Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith as your head coaches. You think the Steelers is going to look much different than last year? It's going to be another version of the Steelers team they've been running out the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay, well, here's why it's different. And you actually said it in passing to me before when we were kind of chit-chatting about this even before the show. You said, man, TJ Watt hasn't won a playoff game his entire career. He's getting up there.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I think that Rodgers is 41, so we know he's getting up there. It ended so badly with the Jets that I know he said he's not there to remove a bad taste from his mouth or anyone's mouth from how things went with New York, but come on. I hope he's there to remove that bad taste from his mouth from the Jets because that went really badly. And for Mike Tomlin, I think for as much as we respect Tomlin and never being below 500 and all that, you're a Super Bowl winning head coach. You haven't won a playoff game in 8 years. I know you're in a tough division, but come on. I mean,
you're saying because these guys are getting old and kind of over the hill, they're going to be better?
No, I'm saying the urgency.
But that doesn't make any. They might have the urgency, but that doesn't mean it's going to work.
There's not a lot of time left to change any of these legacies, right? So, Rodgers, that he's implying this is his last year.
Right.
And while Mike Tomlin is not old by any stretch, I just wonder after, 18 years in Pittsburgh, how many years do you really have left in Pittsburgh? And I understand that this is a franchise that's had 3 head coaches. So I get that you basically, have this extremely long runway, but it has been nearly 2 decades. So
I agree with all that.
How much longer is he the head coach if he can't win a playoff game?
Right. So the Tomlin thing might wear out. The TJ Watt, he might have this gaudy contract and it might amount to nothing. But just because they're older and they want it badly doesn't mean it's going to work. My point is, I just think that it's much more likely that they peter out. Just like Pete Carroll petered out in Seattle, Bill Belichick petered out in New England. Mike Tomlin's probably going to peter out. Just because you want it badly doesn't mean that the results are going to be there. And yeah, TJ Watt has probably desperately wanted to win a playoff game. Just because they need it doesn't mean that they have a better chance this year. I just think that they're entering this season, and I just have trouble wrapping my head around the idea that they're all going to get what they want here, which is one more great run for Rodgers, a rejuvenation of Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, and TJ Watt to finally get that playoff win. I don't see where that win is coming from.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Of all the people that I just named, Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, TJ Watt, who actually does need the playoff win the most for their, I'll say legacy, because, we just went through it. Tomlin's got a lot of questions to answer, no doubt. Even if all 3 of these guys are future Hall of Famers, that doesn't take away from the now. Who is feeling it the most to win this playoff game? Because I think you and I would say Tomlin.
I would say Watt.
Well, you and I just said it. Yeah. Is it really about him or is it about the organization failing him? I think the organization has been failing him.
But you said who needs it the most? I feel like Rodgers, obviously, his legacy is set. I think we're going to judge him on his I think so. I think that whatever happens this season is gravy if anything good happens. Mike Tomlin, I think his legacy is set to a large extent because he has the ring. TJ Watt doesn't even have a playoff win. I think he needs it the most. Otherwise, he's going to be lumped. You said it. He's going to be lumped into the Joe Thomases. It's like, well, the team around him was never good. What is Tomlin doesn't need this, right? Do you think Tomlin needs this win? Tomlin is totally going to do 2 or 3 more years at Pittsburgh, then move on and try another team.
Tomlin needs this because I think people are starting to point the fingers mostly at him for why the Steelers haven't won in 8 years. And their old GM deserves some criticism for that for sure. But not being able to figure out life post-Ben Roethlisberger and his role in that. It's not just the GM. It's your coaching staff on the offense, which you have carte blanche, complete control over. I don't think that the Rooney family comes in and tells Mike Tomlin, hey, you got to hire this guy. I think they do give him complete autonomy of the coaching staff. And as you said, their offense is laughable. And we know you can have an explosive offense in Pittsburgh because we watched it for all those years when they were more successful.
Yeah, I think that this has run its course. I mean, maybe they put it all together and have this magical year. That'd be great. But I'm actually more curious about Mike Tomlin's next gig. I'm already moving.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, what he is not going to change the way he coaches in Pittsburgh. So I think the energy in Pittsburgh, and I'm curious, and we could talk to our buddy Andrew Filipponi, who hosts radio there. I feel like fans feel the same way. It feels like we're watching sort of the final stages of Mike Tomlin there.
We do not care.
And generally, I think that when a coach is reaching the end, like we see it, we feel it. Like Pete Carroll in Seattle is a perfect example. Like the expectations started to just inch a little lower every year. Bill Belichick, the expectations started to inch a little lower. I feel like that's where we are with Tomlin. He's in his last 2 or 3 years. We got famously in trouble because you said that he gets a contract for life, according to the internet.
No, you said it.
I said it.
It got accredited to me.
And it got by Steelers Depot. That was bad for you.
Yeah, that did suck. Because somebody asked me if I was on crack. And just for the record, no, I'm not. Even though that's come up a couple times in the last couple days.
Right. So, I mean, like, let me just make one analogy. Yeah. Bill Belichick's last year, there was obviously urgency to win. Like, you don't think Bill Belichick desperately wanted to win that last season in New England? Of course he did. But that doesn't mean that it's going to result in anything. And I kind of feel like that's where we are in Tomlin.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. EJ, can we throw the poll up? Who needs a playoff win the most of Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers, and TJ Watt? If you have a thought on it, we'll take it.
You know what's funny? I was talking to Manny about it. I don't know if I ever care about whether or not defensive player wins a playoff game or a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I don't think
the legacies are
it really matters to me. And I was talking to Manny. I was like Ray Lewis and Lawrence Taylor are two of the greatest defensive players I know about and have maybe seen. So didn't really see LT, saw highlights.
Yeah, Reggie White.
The fact that those guys are 2-time Super Bowl champions does not come up for me.
Oh, I disagree. Ray Lewis is defined by his because he dominated a Super Bowl. I think that Ray Lewis is a bit of an exception.
But I don't know. Maybe Ray Lewis is an exception, but then, Brian Urlacher never won a Super Bowl. Doesn't change anything about how I think of Brian Urlacher.
At least he played in one. Does that matter?
No.
I don't put Urlacher. If you're ever looking at the great linebackers, I mean, Singletary always gets ranked way ahead of Urlacher.
I mean, Dick Butkus doesn't have a Super Bowl. Again, couldn't care less. Literally could not care less.
Yeah, but I would think Ray Lewis and the word Super Bowl always get linked for 2 reasons.
Ray's linked to a lot of things.
Yeah, but
and maybe that's why I don't think about Super Bowls for Ray. But I think he's just a great player.
Why? What happened in 2000?
Ray and Super Bowls. But, the ultimate never win anything was Barry Sanders, I think. I mean, he was.
But he's an offensive player. And
I'm just saying, but nobody cares about Barry not winning it. So I'm not sure. Nobody judges Barry Sanders for not winning Super Bowl. That was all on the Lions. So I think that it goes a case by case. I don't think it's a blanket. You have a much better chance to make the Hall of Fame if you win a Super Bowl in defense, right? I mean,
I don't think so. I really don't. If Ed Reed never won that last Super Bowl, if we are thinking, is Ed Reed any less in anybody's legacy? No. He's Ed Reed.
How about, can I flip it the other way? I know we all we know that Aaron Donald, such an incredible defensive player, but how he closed out that Super Bowl, that's such a highlight for a defensive player in a Super Bowl. There's a lot of them, but for him, it was like he just would not allow the Rams to lose to the Bengals that day. That's my memory of it on that last drive.
And you know what's funny? Manny can confirm. You know who I said the exception was to me was Aaron Donald.
Really?
I said
you
Aaron,
and I are sharing a
yeah,
brain.
I was Aaron Donald because of what he did
I don't think
and
you
like
want
him
that.
doing the ring thing. Like I think of that, and then maybe Ray.
It
would be-
elevated him.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though he's a 3-time defensive
And
player of
maybe
the
Ray
year.
Lewis is the other example, but I mean, again, Lawrence Taylor is the greatest defensive player of all time. I'd never think, remember he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion? I don't think that.
Can I
if
give you one?
took- wait. If you took LT Super Bowls out, it's a totally different story. I mean,
Lawrence Taylor?
oh my God, 100%.
Not LaDainian Tomlinson. We mean Lawrence Taylor.
Like, LT winning the Super Bowl was a massive, massive part of that.
Can I bring one up that's painful to me? I think you would hear Bruce Smith's name more in the greatest of all time if you do because he deserves to be there. But I think he's not going to be an LT, but maybe Reggie White and him are a little more on similar footing if Bruce had won one of those.
Yeah, and then he's like almost an exception the other way because he lost so famously that maybe that hurts him. But I think for most defensive players, the greatest of all times, all-time greats, it doesn't matter to me if they never won a Super Bowl or if they won one.
Would you guys think less of primetime if he had never won one of these Super Bowls?
Well, he
Won two.
yeah.
I would never think less of Deion Sanders.
Exactly.
I wouldn't
Deion's
either.
reputation grew because he was like this mercenary who just took you over the top.
That's
that
true.
was a huge part of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going.
He was like the finishing piece.
Yeah, I almost feel exactly the opposite on Ray Lewis. Like, Ray Lewis would have been just a linebacker. He would have been a Pro Bowler and great, but he would have been closer to Zach Thomas if he had never won. I'm being dead serious.
He was the MVP,
Oh,
wasn't he?
yeah, he was MVP of Super Bowl, the 2000
the
Super Bowl.
2000 Super Bowl. That's
Yeah, I mean, I think that Ray Lewis's reputation is big time about the Super Bowl. Like, if you took it out, again, he'd be much closer to Zach Thomas, who is a great player too. Probably will make the Hall of Fame.
But Ray Lewis has all of the motivation, Reverend Ray, and then he has the off-the-field stuff. There's a lot that goes into Ray Lewis that goes beyond Super Bowl champion.
Can I tell you one thing about Bruce Smith too? Were the Bills' defenses really good? That's the other thing. Like, I don't think of that. Like, I think of the Bills. I think of Jim Kelly and the K gun.
and the K gun.
Yeah.
But yes, he had the sack record for a long time.
Yeah, I know because he got to rush the passer all the time because they were up by 3 touchdowns, and I just felt like that was like a high octane offense fueling a high sack guy. I again, like Reggie White's defenses were amazing. Were Bruce Smith's defense? You think of that Buffalo team as defense? Maybe that hurts him too.
I don't think. Well, I mean, he is the focal point though on a defense that. Yeah, I mean, it's the Bills teams are more known for the offense, but I don't think the defense, they feel like those were empty calories. It's just the way that they unfortunately lost the Super Bowls, which is the all-time game plan that the Giants had with Otis Anderson to keep the K-Gun off the field and to run the ball, which what's he going to do about that, and kind of neutralize. And then the way they got blown out against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
so,
that's
you
why-
know, that's what people remember. But if you were there watching week to week, then you know how special he was.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you were talking about the general legacy of Bruce Smith. I think that has part to do with
As
it.
I'm saying, if he won one of those Super Bowls,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're asking, was it? Oh, it was just the K gun. I don't know if it's remembered that way.
So
I
basically,
think he did have a lot to gain from that.
You're going the exact
I
opposite.
said this is a painful one for me,
Yeah.
but I think this is one where I do think a defensive player would have benefited from winning a Super Bowl. Yeah. Again, we're talking about degrees.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm
He's a
thinking,
Hall of Famer,
I'm
but-
literally going through the Rolodex of great players. I mean, Derek Thomas, like,
Yeah.
Derek Thomas is like, he's one of the most underrated players of all time. He's thought of, people do not,
No, I know, but-
youngsters do not understand
But
Derek Thomas.
my point though is like, do
you hold it against?
Yeah, like TJ Watt is essentially saying that like I'm not as great as people maybe think I am because I don't have a playoff.
Yeah,
win. Or
definitely.
I don't. You think that people think that about TJ Watt? I don't.
100%. They do not understand the TJ Watt. Like, his legacy is 1,000% affected.
I
by
bet if
this.
you ask 85% of football fans would not know that he has never won a playoff game. When he
That
said,
I didn't know.
this,
We
I had
were
no
all
idea.
kinda stunned by it,
right,
weren't
so
we?
that's my point. Like
Yeah.
he's a multiple-time defensive player of the year. He's been on winning teams. I didn't know he didn't win a playoff game. Do I think any less of him now that I know that? No, he's an amazing player.
But you think of the greatest players of all time. Like, to say Lawrence Taylor is divorced from his Super Bowl wins, like, I do not think. The Giants were such a big deal after they won that Super Bowl. I don't think it's like that at all. I think the Super Bowl builds stars on both sides.
All right, multiple poll questions right off the bat here. Who needs a playoff win the most out of Mike Tomlin, TJ Watt, and Aaron Rodgers this upcoming season? And maybe a secondary poll question. How much do defensive players need Super Bowls to impact their legacy? We know quarterbacks, like that's a given. And even other offensive players. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476.
Well, except for Barry Sanders.
No, Barry's an exception on many
And
fronts.
probably Calvin Johnson. And anyone who played in
for
Detroit.
the Lions.
Yeah.
Not now, though. Now you got to win.
Now you got to win.
Okay. So much to do. We have very, very fun and interesting sound coming out of the Big Ten and ACC media days that we have to get to. And, of course, more from the NFL in just moments. Maggie Perloff.
JJ, wow. Should meet his brother TJ. He's the man.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie Perloff Show. So the two polls we have up are who needs a playoff win most in Pittsburgh? TJ Watt, Aaron Rodgers, and Mike Tomlin. I'm actually tempted to vote for all three. Are we allowed to do that?
No, you get one vote.
You know, when you put it like that, Aaron Rodgers sure could use a win. But legacy-wise, Rodgers is fine. Tomlin's fine. TJ Watt needs a something here. The other question is, do defensive players need to win a Super Bowl for their legacy? I kind of disagree with you and EJ about this one. I think you could be Barry Sanders and Dan Marino and not win anything and still be a superstar on offense. Defense, it does help. You know, it's funny. We're sitting next to Phil Simms is next door.
Oh,
and
yeah?
he, I think, will back my take that if Lawrence Taylor doesn't storm to a Super Bowl championship and just redefine the sport, then I don't think he's known as great. I mean, he was awesome, but if the Giants had kept losing in the playoffs, he'd be Bruce Smith.
Right. Wait, Phil Simms is next door?
No, you're a day off. He's here tomorrow.
Somebody told me Phil Simms was here.
No, they said tomorrow. I said
Phil Simms
tomorrow.
will
I'm
be
like,
next
wait
door
here, Phil.
Yeah.
He's got that loud, booming voice. You know,
Sorry, he'll be here tomorrow.
Quarterbacks, you can't miss them. They come in, their voices are loud.
I just think that Giants team, because they won the Super Bowl. That Giants team lost in the Super Bowl, they beat the Buffalo Bills. No offense.
Thanks. No, I'm the one who I admit it. I don't necessarily think that defensive players need to win Super Bowls. I think you don't blame them if their teams lose Super Bowls, but there were a couple exceptions. One, I do think that, my favorite Bills player of all time, Bruce Smith, I think he would have gotten a bump if he had won one of those Super Bowls. And I think Aaron Donald, while a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, does get a lot of recognition for how he closed that Super Bowl.
Can you imagine Ray Lewis if he had never won a Super Bowl, where his legacy would be? I think it would be much different.
Yeah, you might be right about that. Bill's in Houston wants to weigh in on this topic. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. Hey, I do think T.J. Watt would benefit a lot from a playoff run, I would say.
Okay.
We watched J.J. Watt for a decade, and his career is distinguished by two things: a 4-year run, 3 Defensive Players of the Year, and then the incredible injury streak he had. And so I think it would, because T.J. Watt's had more of a consistent excellence, and so I think it would benefit him greatly. The other thing I wanted to say was, my opinion is Ray Lewis, the 2000 Ravens, since they had Trent Dilfer and not much of an offense, there was no choice but to give it to Ray Lewis and the defense because they were so great. Also, Richard Dent won the Super Bowl MVP with maybe the greatest defense ever, and the Bears had a pretty damn good offense that year too, if I remember right. So.
Well, that's funny. I think of more of the defense for that year, but you're right that they were good, but that defense was the thing.
Right, but they still had Walter Payton.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, like when the day Buddy left that team, Buddy Ryan, like they fell apart. I think, yes, what was distinctive about that team was the defense, right? All time.
Bill, thank you so much for that phone call. That's interesting. Did Trent Dilfer and not having a superstar? Well, so let's be fair. Ray Lewis won 2 Super Bowls.
Yes.
He had Trent Dilfer for 1 as a quarterback, and he had Joe Flacco for the other. Now, Flacco was on an all-time heater. Flacco got that Super Bowl MVP, got the big contract, and is still playing in the division.
Flacco. You know what's funny, too? I think, to me, not thinking back more on this, I think for great defenses, it's important to win a Super Bowl. I don't know for individual players. Like, yes, the 85 Bears defense had to win a Super Bowl. The 86 Giants defense had to win a Super Bowl. The 2000 Ravens had to win a Super Bowl. Did those individual great players have to win a Super Bowl for the legacy to be great? I don't think so.
Well, I mean, Lawrence Taylor, though, would you agree, EJ, to be considered the greatest player of all time, but kind of universally, greatest defensive player of all time? If he had won a Super Bowl, would it be so obvious?
I don't think it. I think it wouldn't make much of a difference. I don't know, and maybe because he didn't win a Super Bowl MVP, maybe that's why I feel that way. And they kind of dominated the first one. I just don't. Again, when I think of Lawrence Taylor, and again, another player similar to Ray Lewis, a lot happening with that guy off the field and stuff. So I think about a lot of things with Lawrence Taylor. Again, I don't run to champion. I run to freakish defensive athlete, maybe the best pass rusher of all time, a lot of off-field things that are unsavory, and then I kind of think, oh, yeah, right, of course he won a Super Bowl. Like, it's not the first thing that comes to mind.
By the way, that Ray Lewis team, I just confirmed, they had a 5-game stretch in 2000 where the offense didn't score a touchdown.
Yep.
So
there was a guy,
that team was an exception.
There was a guy in Baltimore who was like living on his roof, and he wasn't going to come off until they scored a touchdown. I don't know if you guys remember that. I watched a documentary on the 2000 Ravens that E30 and there was a guy who said he was going to stay on the top of his roof for whenever the next time the Ravens scored an offensive touchdown that season. I think for every Sunday. And he was up there in that roof for like 5 weeks. And then when he came off, the whole news, the local news in that city was all over him and stuff. It was funny.
You know, I'm sorry, but we get to Bogusch. She's got headlines for us and all the latest. You mentioned great defenses, maybe not individual players, but great defenses have to win Super Bowls. I was thinking about this because we've been doing nicknames, the greatest sports nicknames of all time. We've been doing individual players, but there are great nicknames for defenses.
They used to have amazing names.
And they didn't win. Orange Crush.
Mm-hmm. But they got to a Super Bowl.
They did. That's true.
Was a big. And the
Purple
Orange Crush,
People Eaters.
Orange Crush would not have been a big deal if they didn't make the Super Bowl. If I'm telling you, that was against the Cowboys. That was a high-profile Super Bowl.
I get it, but Purple People Eaters didn't win.
Yeah, they made 4 Super Bowls.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Fearsome Foursome,
and your New York Sack Exchange.
Yep. Great nicknames. No
Great
Super Bowls.
nicknames.
Yeah, but I mean the ultimate. But listen, there's a reason. T.J. Watt started out his quote by saying, "I'm being compared to Mean Joe Green." There's a reason the steel curtain and this. There's a reason every single player on that team made the Hall of Fame. Like that Super Bowls. There's a reason that we're talking about the Steelers because they're famous from the 4 Super Bowls. There's a reason we're talking about the Cowboys because Tom Landry won Super Bowls and then Jimmy John. Like Super Bowls define a lot of this, and the steel curtain and the Doomsday defense are right there.
Yeah,
and the Killer Bees.
You know, I feel like these guys, a J.J. Watt, a Lawrence Taylor. To me, they're like Barry Bonds. Like, they're amazing players. They didn't win a championship, but it's like, all right, like, are you going to tell me that those guys weren't the greatest defensive players of all time? To me, it doesn't compute.
Let's get to Bogusch. She's got the latest and greatest, and you're welcome to weigh in at 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Do you hold it against defensive players if they aren't Super Bowl champs? Kind of what we're getting at. Good morning, Bogusch.
Guys, good morning. Your headlines are sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Get a quote today at progressivecommercial.com.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to need Neymar, a scalpel, and some suction. Hopefully, team-wide Brazilian butt lifts will help the Yankees field and hit better.
Pitch to Wagner. Swung on, hit to the right side. Backhanded, off the glove by Rice. Everybody safe. Run scores 6-4 Toronto.
Oh, boy. Susan Waldman, Dave Sims, Yankees radio, Ben Rice committing one of 4 Yankee errors in an 8-4 loss in Toronto. Give me something, Aaron Boone.
We've got to obviously tighten it up.
Oh, really?
I'm confident we will. We'll continue to work at it. We have good defenders here, but tonight was obviously a rough night for us.
Do they have good defenders there?
No, they don't. They play baseball like a bunch of 6-year-olds. Nick Turturro put out a video yesterday of him crashing out. I verbatim had the exact same words coming out of my mouth. It was a tough night last night at the Yankee household, at the Rodriguez household, because of the stupid Yankees. They play baseball like morons.
Well, they've been doing that for a while.
Morons.
Terrible defensive team. Always have guys playing out of position on defense. As they say in baseball, ball's going to find you. I mean, they're atrocious
Maggie,
defensively.
they had 5 hits yesterday and 4 errors. How the hell does that happen? You're a pro baseball team. This isn't Bogusch's 11U baseball team coaching Jake.
Good point.
What is this? It's garbage. And then you come out on the post-game. Yeah, well, we have some good defenders. The hell you do? You don't know what the hell you're doing.
And it was a big game, too, actually, for a regular season game because the standings.
Now we got Philadelphia coming in, top of the NL East. They're probably going to get swept because they can't defend. They play baseball like a bunch of imbeciles.
I would not bet on that, by the way.
I don't know.
Yeah, Philly didn't look too good yesterday.
Yeah, Philly didn't look great either.
Our bullpen can be got.
The Yankees can get defeated by a JV high school baseball team.
I'm not arguing.
I'd love to believe that.
They can. I full-heartedly believe that.
By the way, I love the Aaron Boone signature move of think people are angry, people are upset at me. All right, let me just act like a crazy person. People be like, oh, they love this. Like
he got ejected yesterday. It's his go-to.
It's like the LeBron signature. Look at the hand and shoot the shot. It's like it's coming. Oh, my team's struggling. Everybody's like, maybe you should be fired. Let me just act like a crazy person, and people will get back on me.
They didn't respond after he got ejected. They played worse. This team.
Wait, can I just say something away from the Yankees for a second? No. Because all of this is just warranted, and it's hilarious because it's the same stuff over and over again with the Yankees. But I'm excited for automated balls and strikes. I am. I want the robot umps. Because some of the umpires are it's egregious with the bad calls.
I can name some. I'm
just going to miss, even if you think it's eyewash with Aaron Boone, I'm going to miss overall the manager-umpire interaction, Pearl. Like, I want the yelling at the guy. I want the, get out of here. No,
ever since they put the box on TV, like, the ship has sailed. Like, now, when everyone can see the balls and strikes better than the umpire, like, it's changing fast.
But aren't you going to miss the umpire managers getting into it face-to-face, nose-to-nose, kicking dirt on each other? I realized last night, even though Aaron Boone's kind of a hack and nice enough guy, but he definitely gets ejected on purpose. They all do, to send a message. I'm going to miss that.
When I was a kid, like, you do the managers, like Tommy Lasorda and Earl Weaver, baseball managers, honestly, like, AI should just take that job over. Like,
you
don't even need, like, they are, and I think, and listen, do I follow baseball maybe as close as I should? But I think if you went on the street right now below and named a random MLB team, no sports fan would know the manager. Out of market. Like, baseball managers, like, so
can you say that
this
about
guy
any
you've
sport?
Never heard of arguing over something you never heard of? No.
Do you think but could you say that for every sport? Let's not, it's fun to dunk on baseball, but okay, yeah, I go out on the street and say, who's the head coach of the Tennessee Titans right now? You think people are going to say, oh, I know exactly.
Ryan Tannehill.
I will bet you, we could do this experiment. I'll bet you if you asked 30 sports fans, maybe not in New York because it's such a baseball town, but I'll bet you 28 of them could name more NFL coaches than they could baseball managers.
Okay,
Definitely.
Well, name more, but you're saying I could take a random team and you wouldn't know who it is. I think you could say that about every sport.
You just pick the worst team in the league, the number one pick. Okay. That's not a random team. You didn't just say a random team. You're like, well, I'm going to name Brian Callahan of the Tennessee Titans.
Let's go out there and I'll ask who's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys right now.
Oh,
and he's got a famous last name, and I bet people don't know.
Wade Phillips.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay. Let's go out into the newsroom and ask who's the manager of the Minnesota Twins.
You're the worst person to argue with.
We work in sports.
No, Perloff's right.
You guys, Bugs, you don't think I'm right on this?
No. She doesn't mean go in the newsroom. She means like go outside into the public.
I think my point's totally valid, though. I think everyone knows, and NBA coaches are higher profile. NBA and NFL coaches are definitely higher profile.
Oh, we all joked that we, for a while, wouldn't have known if Taylor Jenkins ran us over. NFL is different. The NFL always wins. I think then baseball and basketball are closer together than the NFL.
But, okay. Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, basketball, I'm not
There's
sure.
some high-profile guys in basketball. I don't know.
Yes, but not top to bottom. Like, I think NFL fans can give you almost every head coach and both coordinators. I don't know if you walked around in NBA circles. I mean, well, a regular sports fan knows more NFL head coaches than NBA coaches.
I just think
I agree.
The baseball guys are a lot of journeymen. I mean, like NBA is
a lot of randos.
We know the players. Like Jason Kidd, we knew him. Like MLB is like a backup catcher.
Right.
You know?
But like people are going to give you Brian Callahan. People are not going to tell you who the new coach in San Antonio is. Who's the Kings coach? Who's the Hornets coach? Like, I get there's
the worst teams. Like you could go 20 deep and people are not going to go the MLB. 20 out of 30.
But you could do the worst NFL team. You're probably going to get more correct answers than the worst NBA and baseball teams. I think basketball and baseball are tighter together in this conversation than the NFL. The NFL always wins, and I think they always are on their own in these kind of categories.
Okay,
to be honest, I think the one sport that's most associated with the coaches now is college football.
Definitely.
Well, they stay a long time, yeah.
And I think it's just the players, turn over.
Yeah, and they're almost like the heads of their schools.
Yeah.
Like, even forget about football. Like, they run the entire school, basically.
How many people would we have to ask on the street to get the Marlins manager?
How about in this room?
Infinite.
How many people are in New York?
Infinite.
8 million? 10 million?
Yeah.
How many would we have to get the Titans manager? Probably 23.
The Titans coach?
Titans coach.
But if you went in the NBA, you're not getting answers on the Wizards or the Hornets or...
Wes Unseld Jr.
Is that even true?
He's gone. He got fired.
Just say it confidently and people will think it's true.
No. You just, there's certain teams it doesn't matter who their coach is. You could still assume it's Wes.
Why, by the way, it feels like the worst teams in the NBA now, like they're going like as anonymous as possible with their head coaches too. Like there was a time where like you could be Bill Russell and coach the Kings. Like that happened.
Well, Doug Christie coached the Kings on an interim basis.
Well, he's still there, right? They kept him. But and that's not like one of the worst teams. I mean, like the Hornets and the Wizards, like they have people that nobody's ever heard of. Again, there was a time where like an established guy like Paul Silas would come back to the Hornets for like a third time.
I hate to say it, your Knicks were interviewing guys that casual fans probably did not know.
Yeah.
They hired Mike Brown.
Yeah, but they hired Mike Brown.
They hired Mike Brown. That's fine. But they were interviewing dudes who I don't
Johnny
think...
O'Brien?
Yeah, Mike Norrie. Bryant, not O'Brien.
Whatever. That's my point.
Mike Norrie, yeah.
These are people who are like, you got to be a deep, pretty deep NBA fan to get the rest of that list.
I'll prepare a quiz. What if we did in the newsroom?
Well, there's like 2 people out there. I don't want to do this to Billy.
No, I mean, I think
maybe at 9 a.m.
Way off on this.
Let's do it when Phil Sims comes tomorrow.
I think Phil Sims knows all the NFL.
I mean, if
he's got him.
Yeah.
Phil Sims knows the A's coach, then I'm buying everyone lunch.
I actually know the A's one.
Mark Kotze.
Yeah.
Is it really?
But you guys are massive. You guys live in New York. You're big baseball fans. I think out there, like these managers are nobody.
I don't know who the Marlins manager is.
I thought it was Skip Schumacher. Apparently,
no, he left after 1 year, like Girardi.
It's a great name, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know who their manager is.
Well, can I tell you who it is?
Please.
His name's Clayton McCullough.
No, it's not.
That's what AI overview
is not a real
me.
person.
We know that's about 50-50.
Oh, yeah. Clayton McCullough, of course.
November 18, 2024, MLB.com. Meet the Marlins' new manager, Clayton McCullough.
Oh, yeah.
He discussed his journey.
I think Perloff's right on a lot of this. I think a lot of this, too, is because, like, there is no personality with these managers anymore because their jobs have just been taken over by front offices. Like, I think that there was some...
I don't know. Dave Roberts and, why am I blanking? Padres.
There you go.
No, come on. That's just...
I'm serious.
That's just because I'm tired.
Bud Black, is he still there?
No, Schilt. Mike Schilt. They got into it.
Oh, yeah. Mike Schilt's a household name. Listen, like you mentioned Mike Schilt's name immediately, like he's the new Earl Weaver.
No, but I did know that. I'm just tired.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm saying no casual sports fan who doesn't live in San Diego knows Mike Schilt. I really believe that.
I really believe it's because these guys, like, again, those guys have a beef, but I think overall, like, there was more personality behind baseball managers.
Also,
and they have more to do with strategy. Like, you actually could, like, I don't think, like, I know people will yell about their manager. Every fan base does, but I think also fans know, like, hey, half this stuff is just coming from the front office. Why am I going to yell about the manager?
Also, I think Maggie does have a good point. I think the balls and strikes getting automated will even make them less personable, like personality known.
Yeah, because you can't even have a good, I'm screaming at you, you're screaming at me, I'm getting ejected moment. I have one other thought on this. I know we got to take a quick break. You're saying it's always the backup catcher and like the guys who are a little more obscure as far as former players are concerned. Guys are getting just paid so much money. If I'm a star player and I made $250 million, why am I coming back to manage a baseball team? No shot. You know, some of the star players...
For the love of the game, Maggie.
Well, that's great, but if I'm Ken Griffey Jr., I don't want that. I don't care. I'm not coming back to do that.
Yeah, doing all that travel to...
To be fair, Don Mattingly did, manage for a long time. And I'm not saying that stars can't manage. I'm sure made tons and tons of money. But if I'm Alex Rodriguez or I'm Giancarlo Stanton, I'm not thinking, I'm going to go back and manage.
True in football, too. The stars have no interest. Like, to be a coach in the NFL, you have to stay up all night.
Except for Dion, but that was a unique one.
Well, he's a college coach. Nobody wants to be an NFL coach because you have to work up and watch all this tape and stay up all night, all day. Like, no star player wants that. Dan Marino tried to be an executive for 2 days.
Magic tried it. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Coming up, surprising quotes coming out of the Dolphins training camp. We'll get to that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Wesley Financial. Stuck in a timeshare and want out? Contact Wesley Financial Group now and get a free timeshare exit information kit at wesleyfinancialgroup.com. Man, sometimes the argument just lasts through the break.
I know. I was supposed to do things in that break, like tweet things, and it didn't happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I do that now.
And I don't even know. Sometimes you have a sports argument that you don't even know what you were arguing about. My point was the baseball managers become a little anonymous. A lot of reasons. One, general managers make a big impact. And Maggie, you had a great point. If you take away the umpire having to call balls and strikes and it goes to the computer, then that's one less job the manager has now. And also the fact that there's a DH in the NL, like when you have a DH, what do you do as a manager? Like, why are you there? I never understood that. As a kid who grew up with the NL, I always used to laugh at American League managers. Like, you make 3 decisions a night at most. You set your lineup like you don't really need to pinch hit because you have your best hitters up there.
Nobody wants to watch a pitcher hit.
Yeah.
Nobody ever.
Let's not rehash that old debate. But I think that, now there are, though, rules that make it more challenging on the managers, like the 3-batter rule and stuff like that. But you have to ask yourself, are you actually making that decision in the moment, or is the manager going and following some type of script, like a choose your own adventure? If this happens, the computer says do this. If this happens, the algorithm says do this. And when you said about balls and strikes, it takes away from the manager, I was saying the arguments. A manager getting thrown out of a game to try to rally the guys or what have you. We're going to lose all that because how do you argue against a computer? You look stupid.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we saw in Wimbledon the computer went down, and then
true.
Things got real.
So you'd have to get just like some kind of malfunction. Then managers would just lose their mind.
I'd also think, too, parity in baseball has probably affected this a little bit, too. We haven't really had a dynasty in a while. So, we talked about Tommy Lasorda and Billy Martin, and we kind of had the same teams, and Earl Weaver was really good, Sparky Anderson, Whitey Herzog. So maybe that's why.
Possible. I think it's all in the sauce. I do. I quickly want to get to the Dolphins, though, Pearl, because this was a little interesting, I thought, coming out of their training camp. So you'll remember at the end of the season, Tyreek Hill basically said, I don't want to be here anymore. And while he walked that back, and it may have been the heat of the moment, according to Tua, it's still there. Manny, can I hear cut 10, please? Tua saying that Tyreek Hill's still working to build back those relationships because teammates didn't appreciate how he handled the end of the season.
I would say we're still continuing to do that. But it's not just with me. It's with a lot of the guys. I'm not the only one that heard that. You guys aren't the only people that heard that. A lot of people that follow football, that follow the Miami Dolphins, that follow Tyreek, that are fans of his, everyone has seen that. So when you say something like that, you don't just come back from that with, hey, my bad. You got to work that relationship up. You got to build everything up.
Okay, more from Tua says his relationship with Hill and others, just a work in progress.
It's still a work in progress, not just for me, but for everybody. But like I said, he's working on himself. He's working on the things that he says he wants to get better with and do better on. So that's the first step to me, and so I commend him for doing that.
So a little honest there from Tua. Usually that conversation is hey, we love him. He's our guy. Nothing to see here, yada, yada. And Tua's basically saying, no, there's like some growth happening, but also he's got to repair relationships.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they just got to work on their relationship. This relationship has like a 2-week shelf life here. Like, you better make it work immediately. Tyreek Hill's 31 and fading fast, and Tua, it's probably his last chance ever in Miami. Like, I can't believe he said this. Like, what are you going to do? You think you have 3 more years there? You don't. You have 1 year, and it's all done. So you better figure out immediately, like week 1. If it's not figured out, then bye-bye Tua, bye-bye Tyreek Hill, bye-bye Mike McDaniels, head coach.
Yeah, I don't like that there's, if somebody says something at the end of the season, and I would think, Pearl, that players would understand, it's the heat of the moment. Tyreek Hill took himself out of a game at the end of the season and basically quit on the team. And I actually thought that the players might be a little more forgiving of that, maybe because they understand and they've been in the heat of the battle. Doesn't seem like it. And it doesn't seem like they trust him at all. And by the way, how could you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't believe that comment because it made it sound like they were both rookies coming on a rookie deal. Like, this is now or never. Like 4 weeks in, we'll know if they're going to be Dolphins in the future.
888-710-4ISN. Someone's making a huge allegation about sports' biggest star.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
One NBA player making a pretty big accusation against LeBron James. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff, Jeff Teague. You remember him, of course?
Yeah, I remember him as a podcaster. I don't remember him as a player.
Be nice.
He played for a long time, a lot of different teams, but he does have a very popular podcast. It's called Club 520. He's a good storyteller. Manny giving me a thumbs up. He likes it.
I love that podcast.
One of the funny things about Teague's pod is he does tell a lot of stories from his time in the NBA. And he's kind of the perfect person you want for a pod like that because he was not a superstar. He played for a lot of teams, but he was certainly in the NBA and was privy to all of the stories and maybe even the rumors that were going on. Now, he does not present this as a rumor, and we're going to let the audience be the judge here. The podcast was asking what version of LeBron James throughout his 20-plus year career has been the best version of LeBron James. Here's Teague.
Which Bron was better?
Miami Heat Bron.
Miami Heat Bron.
Miami Heat.
I'm going this Cavs Bron because this Cavs Bron had a 3.
Man, y'all crazy. Miami Heat
best
Bron
we ever
was,
seen. I ain't gonna lie.
he was on steroids, bro. He had to sit out. He was on steroids for real.
Not give
like legit was on steroids, bro. Allegedly, but like he had to sit out, bro.
Okay, you just want to drop that there. More from Teague mentions why does he think LeBron? Why do people think LeBron was on steroids? Here's more.
Y'all remember that though? No. When they was like, he got everybody. They started testing for HGH, and they was like, "Yo," and he had to sit out. Like he said, his back was hurt, and he sat out for like 3 weeks, and he came back skinny. This is just I was in the league. I remember. And he came back in. He was crazy though. Bro.
Okay. So he just kind of leaves that there, Pearl. It didn't sound like he was joking.
Yeah, but it didn't sound like he had any proof or anything real there.
He's making a reference to the 2014-2015 season. Now, LeBron's on the Cavs at this point, right? So LeBron's on the Cavs. You may remember it. EJ and I were talking about this last night. I remember it because LeBron took a 2-week break. And I remember he got some criticism because, of course, LeBron always gets criticism. But he got criticism because he went to go watch Ohio State win the national championship. And people thought he actually took a vacation to watch the Buckeyes, his favorite college football team, win the title. Then Brian Windhorst had come out about 10 months after he took the 2-week break, came back. They end up going to the finals that year. They lose in 6 games.
Why would they do that?
So Windhorst comes out 10 months later and says, I got the reason, the reporting for why he missed those 2 weeks. He was dealing with a bad back, and he got 2 injections after an MRI showed that there was some inflammation in his back.
Okay.
So that's the time frame. So no, Teague doesn't have any evidence of this. Obviously, he wasn't there, but he's talking about this very, at the time, a very big deal of a break that LeBron James took in the middle of the year. Now, again.
Yeah, but we're just dealing in rumor and speculation. He's like, I heard that LeBron. I mean, yeah, to me, like.
He said everybody knows that, but yes, I mean.
I personally think there's all sorts of baseball players who are probably taking something. Is what Teague is saying, I guess it's much different because he's in the NBA. But as far as like legacy-wise, this is definitely not going to stick to LeBron at all. I would say 0.0%.
Right. Well, one player making this accusation is not going to stick to LeBron. And by the way, that shouldn't stick to him, right? Like you owe somebody, I think, the benefit of the doubt there.
It's a different guy. It's not Jose Canseco saying I shot up steroids with a guy.
Yeah, right.
So the accusation even feels like a strong word in this case. Based on what we just played, it feels more like, oh, yeah, he had to be. It's more like, oh, he had to be on steroids.
Okay, so there has been sort of I don't want to say this has not caught on in the way that maybe other rumors about LeBron James have caught on because, obviously Jeff Teague doesn't have any proof. He's just saying that this was a rumor going around the league. But where you and I think differ on this is let's say LeBron was, like it did come out that he was on steroids at any point of his career. You don't think that would impact his legacy at all?
No, I don't think we judge steroids in the NBA. I mean, listen, if we're just doing rumors, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant tripled in size in their NBA career. LeBron did not. LeBron came in at 18 and was gigantic. So I just don't think – I think of these steroid guys in the NBA in the 90s. There are some big dudes.
Right. Well, this is HGH. So it's
steroid HGH, PED guys.
Right.
I think they were doing HGH in the 90s too.
They may have been.
Yeah.
I always think of the 90s a little more like the
Windstraw?
Yeah, the East German swimmers type stuff,
I'm
from the
pretty
Olympics.
sure HGH had started in the 90s.
It may have. I don't have the timeline. But, here's the thing. I disagree with you that if this did come out, and I'm saying this LeBron, any of the great players, right? Any of those, we did Mount Olympus project for a month around here. Any of those Mount Olympus type players, LeBron is one of the most important sports figures that we have. It would be a massive scandal. I think people would be completely LeBron James. I think it would gut people who are fans of his. Part of his legacy, it didn't start this way. He's had many different aspects of his legacy, but one part of it, especially now, is the longevity, how he took care of his body, $1 million a year. To think that any of that was manufactured as opposed to earned, I think would hurt people. I do. And I know that there were always the rumors about Kobe. I never knew about Jordan necessarily.
Well, I'm just I have no rumors. Just eyeball him. And why, if Jordan would kill you to win a game, why would he not, if some trainer offered him something, why would he have said no? He's the most competitive human being on the planet.
But no one ever came out and said the whole league thought that Michael Jordan was doing this, right? In The Last Dance, he talked about having to go back from baseball to basketball and different workouts and getting stronger and all of that. He does talk about his body. But I'm just saying, if some of this turned out to be true, I think people would be devastated. I think they would feel... It's not like Lance Armstrong, because Lance meant like hope for so many people with, coming back from cancer, and people found out he was cheating. And I think even if you had suspicions, I think people felt very let down by that. And I think the same thing would apply to LeBron.
Maybe because of LeBron. But I mean, LeBron's doing a lot of things. Most basketball fans maybe suspect LeBron is getting help in his 40s. I mean, dude's scoring like 26 points a game at 40.
Well, people didn't say it about Brady. I don't think anyone said it about Aaron Rodgers.
Basketball.
All my damn respect to.
Well, because quarterbacks don't have to be they can be kind of chubby. Look at Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, come on.
You don't need the body to be a quarterback. You need the body to perform in these other sports. Quarterbacks don't need the body at all, right?
I guess
Tom Brady looks great now as a player. He looked like me. He was definitely not. Quarterbacks, I don't think want to lift too much weight, so they keep the flexibility in the arm. They're not ripped by any means.
I think that people can look very different on different types of things. I don't think everyone has to look like Barry Bonds to mean that's a slam dunk reason that you are taking something to help you.
But let me ask you this question. Yeah. Do you believe that we view baseball PEDs differently than every other sport?
Absolutely, because you can just tell by the Hall of Fame. Guys who have done steroids walk into the Hall of Fame and in the other Hall of Fames, and it obviously has kept famously Barry Bonds out and Clemens.
Yeah, so I think that that's LeBron obviously. So you're saying
people wouldn't care? I think they would.
But just generally, I don't think anybody cares about PEDs in basketball. It's just not a common topic. I can't even remember a famous PED story in basketball.
The one I think of always is Ito Turkoglu got busted for doing steroids.
Hedo Turkoglu? See, I didn't even remember that. I was a big Hedo Turkoglu fan.
That Magic team made it to the finals. What were they doing? Listen,
Dwight Howard.
Because Ito Turkoglu, and no one actually even says anything about Dwight Howard, whose shoulders look like shelves.
Yeah, because nobody cares for basketball.
But they would care with LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, of course they would care with LeBron.
Because he's transcended his sport, and I think he means something more than, Ito Turkoglu and, is he Turkish? Oh, where's he? Yeah, he's Turkish.
I think so.
In Turkey, he would probably, this one might be a huge letdown for people, but not here. Here, and worldwide, even for LeBron, he's just such a different figure than anyone else who's ever been busted.
LeBron might be the one exception, but again,
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, then why do you think this is not sticking? Why do you think people are not covering this?
I think they might be. First of all, LeBron, I think maybe they never heard it. Maybe Jeff Teague is really just stepping out here, and he's on a limb. Or LeBron's pretty influential, and I don't know if people want to go against the king. He's always kind of been the face. He has been the face of the league, not kind of. He has, and not just that. I think he's been influential. I remember when they were in the bubble, when the NBA did the bubble, and I forgot who it was who said they weren't sure if they were going to play one day. I think after what happened in Milwaukee, and I think was it Giannis said if LeBron plays, we all play. I can't remember now exactly, but someone said if LeBron plays, we all play. I think people follow him. I think he's a powerful guy.
I do feel like with LeBron James, we talked about it earlier, but one of the things we've talked the most about him is just how great he is and still is at this old age. And it's very interesting to me that antennas were raised in baseball when we were like, Roger Clemens is still throwing 95 and winning 20 games, even though he's 40 years old playing for the Astros. And like, it raised eyebrows. It just doesn't with LeBron James. And to Perloff's point, that could just be because we don't care about basketball. I do wonder if things get flipped around, if there was something more like a smoking gun, like a Brian McNamee does come on and say, hey, I was injecting this guy. Like, maybe that's what it would take. But I do feel like so much of what we respect about LeBron is the fact that he could be, in his late 30s winning titles and, be in his 40s still scoring 24 points a game. Like, I think that is a big part of his legacy.
No doubt.
For you guys, because you guys want to make LeBron bigger than Jordan. For me, I'm just like, this is getting kind of sad.
But you think LeBron is sad right now? No, you don't.
I thought it was a little sad that his agent came out and said he just wants a chance to compete for a championship.
No, but on the court, that's not sad.
I think it's getting a little ugly.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like watching him last year. I thought, oh boy, this is
You picked him to go to the Western Conference Finals.
I think he's getting a little but like he's not running the same. Like, I don't want to see this LeBron, really, to be honest.
But he's playing so well.
Yeah,
he was
not
okay
stumbling
last year.
around out there.
When you watch him, like, oh, I see the age, and I think it's going to be much worse next year.
Okay, but it's not embarrassing. Like, he's not embarrassing himself.
No, but it's still like I want to remember LeBron. They brought up a great point. Like, do you remember LeBron on Miami? Like, that was crazy. He was electric.
Well,
like
of
every
course.
play.
That's his prime.
I'm not a huge fan of LeBron pushing this into his 40s. Like, and I don't think I'm alone on this. Like, do we really want to see him score 23 points a game this year and go out in the first round? Is that going to be like add anything to his legacy?
It's not to me about wanting to see it. It's acknowledging that he is still playing really well for a guy his age. Guys his age don't play this well. I'm not a LeBron over Jordan guy. So to me, it has nothing to do with that. It's just being like, wow, this guy's still doing this thing, and he's like, again, still one of the best players in the NBA. Like, that's a thing for him.
I think LeBron's legacy kind of gets maybe chalked up to like how he defied even these incredible expectations, right? I always thought one of his biggest things was living up to this incredible hype that he came into the league with, and then continuing to kind of he's not perfect by any stretch, we know that, but how he continued to defy expectations and is still doing it at 40. If you did find out he was doing something, I think it would cut people. Michelle is in
not 3, not 4.
Michelle's in Fort Lauderdale. Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to say, yes, LeBron was on steroids, but the steroids that they use for back pain are not the same steroids that you use to bulk up. It's a common misconception around people that are not in the medical field. But yes, he was on steroids for back pain. They don't help him bulk up.
Right. No, it's a fair point. Thank you for making it. I think what Jeff, and thank you for calling in, I think what Jeff Teague was alleging is that, and maybe we should have played the extended cut, the NBA started testing for HGH in the 2014-2015 season. And when they started implementing that test for HGH, then LeBron took a 2-week vacation. Then later it came out that he was taking injections for a back issue. So it was kind of implied like they started testing for something, and all of a sudden he took this mysterious break, and then when he came back later, they blamed it on his back.
And time always ends up like, kind of distorting our views on things. When LeBron arrived in Cleveland for that first training camp, and he looked like he lost 40 pounds, everybody was like, what the hell? And then he didn't play that well to start that season. And
but he said he lost, is that after the movie?
It was the movie, Amy Schumer's movie, and it was the vegan diet. Remember,
he told everyone I lost weight for the movie.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
he was lying.
I'm not saying that wasn't true. I'm just saying that was, people did raise their eyebrows, and he wasn't playing well. And he came back after that thing. And if you guys remember how he ended that season and how he played in that playoffs, I mean, he was a Terminator.
He should have won the MVP of that finals.
He was a Terminator. And it was like, what the heck? Like, this guy looks like he's back Miami LeBron again. And again, time distorts kind of how we view things. But there was definitely a question of like, what happened after that 2-week break? Like, what happened in there? And they were very mysterious about it. I don't know why you wouldn't just say, hey, he has back issues. He's also never had back issues, it seems like, since then. They're just questions that, again, any other player in other sports that are playing into their 40s, especially baseball, we'd say, should we raise any eyebrows about it? And we don't with him.
Cleveland!
I think casual fans have been somewhat suspicious.
This is for you.
I've heard. I mean, just talking on the basketball court, people are like, "Oh, I wonder if he's getting help." I mean, that's not a radical thought of it. You're right. He's doing things that no one's ever done in his 40s. But again, I don't think people care that much.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. The question is Jeff Teague making some, you're right, not allegations, just sort of blurted it out. Like, people think LeBron was on HGH. If you found out that he was, there's no evidence here. If you found out, though, he was, would that change your opinion of him? We have nicknames to get to, Pearl. Unfortunately for LeBron, the King got eliminated in round 1. But many of the other great sports nicknames have moved on, and we've got results from the latest rounds of voting next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Perloff Show. Talking about this, I would say, loose allegation / rumor that Jeff Teague, former NBA player, shared on his podcast that LeBron took PEDs back in the day. Again, we are not saying, even Jeff Teague distanced himself afterwards, said he was joking. I don't know if he was joking.
I mean, how quickly do you think he got a call from Rich Paul?
But I do think it's important as a show we realize there's no real here. We're just sort of talking totally hypothetically. In case you're listening, LeBron, I'm sorry. I did say we
are LeBron's favorite radio show.
You know what the big argument, dude? I don't think this year is going to look great. I just don't like the fact that Rich Paul had to come out and say, we'd like to go to a team where we can compete for a championship. Like, what did that say about how LeBron feels about playing with Luka? Not excited to me. Like, it doesn't feel like the Lakers are on La La Land. It feels like he's going to play out this string in a way that's not going to satisfy us. I'm really down. I don't have high hopes for this LeBron experiment.
Let's go to Rich, who's in California. Rich, what do you think? Jeff Teague is saying, that he's saying that it was an open secret that LeBron was on something. What do you think?
Well, I think it's like one of those questions that you ask that whatever way you answer it, you're going to be wrong. Therefore, the best thing to do is not answer it. Do I think that those guys use that stuff? Yeah, probably. And I also think they've gotten way more sophisticated at masking that stuff. Does that make them any less an athlete or anything else like that? No, it just simply speaks to the reality that you have people with lots and lots of money and lots of things at stake, and anybody looking for an edge, the opportunity is there. The fact of the matter is, when Mark McGwire quit using them, he got real thin. When Barry Bonds quit using them, he got real thin. We will probably not know until they retire whether or not he was.
Wait, but
it's
hold
just
on,
kind of a
Rich,
cheap shot.
No, it's funny because outside of the Bay Area, do you think that people give Barry Bonds any kind of grace on this? Like, guys are just doing it. I think he's looked at as kind of he's vilified for this.
Well, it's funny. I do notice that attitudes have changed towards PED. It feels like young guys have no problem with Barry Bonds. I feel like, have you noticed that the younger generation kind of looks up to Barry Bonds? I think
of fans or of players?
Fans. I feel like 20-something fans don't mind that Barry Bonds took PEDs, where older fans are really bothered by it. I've noticed a major change in attitude.
Oh, I agree with you. I think there is, but I don't know about players because Aaron Judge was asked about this. Who's the home run king? And he said Hank Aaron.
Well, I mean, that's a kind of a political statement.
Aaron Judge.
The point is that, it's hard to say with Barry Bonds because he was not a real nice person to the media, and whether he's being punished for that. Same with Clemens. You're talking about an era where they say roughly 85 to 90% of the guys were using some kind of PEDs.
Right.
Some just to stay in the league. Some to, those things meant dollar signs to those guys. So to sit there and, wait until such time as he dies before he goes in there, it's kind of silly. Just like it's silly to punish Pete Rose for gambling when, that keeps the doors open at ESPN.
Right.
So,
okay, Rich, thank you for that. I mean, we did talk about that when Pete Rose, when that happened. So no punishment at all for any of the steroid guys. Listen, I know some guys who have gotten into the Hall of Fame who had some major, like, were they on the Mitchell Report? What was going on when? I get it. It's not a perfect science, but it's not like the the Baseball Hall of Fame voters haven't put, air quotes, bad guys in the Hall of Fame, like people who are not nice to the media.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think.
I don't think it's just that.
Argue against Rich's Pete Rose point. Yeah, ESPN is promoting gambling now, but the issue with Pete Rose was he's affecting the games.
Yeah.
So I understand, and I actually think he's probably right. Like, attitudes have changed a lot towards gambling. If they can't prove he fixed the game, then maybe whatever. I'm not doing a Pete Rose debate now. On the PED front, though, I mean, I was there in '98. Like, everybody ignored. Everyone could kind of tell, they're hitting home runs at a record pace. I do think there's a chance, like, the media, of course, wants to put their head in the sand about PEDs because baseball is about to set another home run record this year. Like, home runs are flying out. Bogusch had a great point the other day that they maybe changed the ball. But how do we know? We just don't know. That's the thing. Like, I suspect that there are players that found something to get around the test. I'm not naming any players. I'm just as a fan, I'm like, of course somebody's taking something. The home runs are ridiculous right now.
Right. So if it didn't matter, though, and it didn't, and attitudes have changed so much, why hide it? Why test? Why, I understand why they test. You can't just have people do, in my opinion, just whoever's got the best pharmacist all of a sudden, has the best record or has these records. You want to try to keep it clean.
Well, I think it's hard. These guys have so much money. Can you imagine the science that they're deploying to get around these tests? I think that there's probably something out there that we don't know about because they didn't really. That's part of the reason these guys got away with it. It took a long time to catch up with the tech. I bet you there's something. And if you look at the money the NBA players are making, why wouldn't they? I mean, you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, full economies of small countries are now going to like two guards, like $350 million. There's so much incentive anyway. But my point is, like, we put our head in the sand in '98. How do we know? We are now.
888-710-4ISN. Let's get to some sports nicknames, shall we?
64 nicknames were entered, but only one will win. It's Maggie and Perloff's search for the greatest nickname in sports.
I think we've started a little bit of a trend these days, if you guys notice.
No.
A lot of shows out there talking nicknames, which we love. Okay, let's go to the Tough Guys and Enforcers
also
region.
Talking BBLs.
Where they will be after our conversation yesterday about Brazilian butt lifts, but we'll get to that in a little bit. First, we've got some business to attend to, and that is the Tough Guys and Enforcers region, which is now open for you to vote on. The 1 seed is Mean Joe Green.
Only I had something worth that much money. Man, I never should have dropped Mean Joe Green's jersey. Good game, Mean Joe. You want some of my Coke?
Hey, kid. Catch.
Wow, thanks, Mean Joe.
Clip from Family Guy there. Mean Joe Green against the 5 seed in this region, Sweetness. Of course, Walter Payton.
Came right before my professional career when we were playing in the postseason college bowl games. But at that particular time, the saying was, "Oh, how sweet it is! Oh, that's sweet." It is. So some of the moves that I would make in practice and kidding around, people would say, that was a sweet move. And after we got through practicing, we'd go in to the hotels and see me walking around in the lobby. And for lack of anything else to call, they think about the move. Hey, sweetness.
There you go. Okay. That was obviously Walter Payton describing how he got the Sweetness nickname. The 3rd seed in this region is the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Anything you can have or do to be competitive more than the other guy and beat them is a part of your plan to beat them or your system to beat them. And if you can intimidate them and then they call you the Intimidator, well, so be it.
And the Intimidator is going up against the 7 seed, Smokin' Joe Frazier.
One of the greatest fighters of all time, former heavyweight boxing champion of the world, Smokin' Joe Frazier.
So the voting is open right now in the Tough Guys and Enforcers region. And quickly, we have some results for you as we are now in the Elite 8 in half of our bracket. Air Jordan Pearl, a decisive winner over the 5 seed, the Black Mamba.
It became personal with me.
So 76.4% over 23.6%. Air Jordan moves on against the Black Mamba as we're doing the greatest sports nicknames of all time.
Yeah.
Are you surprised it's that much of a blowout?
Not surprised. I think the Black Mamba got a tough draw. You don't want to see, as a 5 seed, you don't want to see Air Jordan.
I think it's because Kobe gave himself the Black Mamba nickname. I think that started to resonate with people, that you can't give yourself your own nickname. And the 2 seed in the hoops and handles region moves on. Irvin Magic Johnson, this one a lot tighter, takes out Pistol Pete Maravich. The final tally, 52.5% to 47.5%. So there you go. It's going to be Air Jordan versus Magic Johnson in the Elite Eight.
That could be a national title game, too.
Sometimes you get these heavyweight matchups a little earlier than you thought.
Yeah, I think Magic, the hoops, listen, basketball has the best nicknames. I will say that to the end.
Okay, so we'll have more results for you later on in the show. It's the Maggie and Perloff search for the greatest sports nickname, and you can go vote right now at Maggie and Perloff on X. Good morning, Bogusch.
Guys, good morning again. In a land of Trey Hendricksons and Terry McLaurins, there's James Cook, the Bills running back, reporting to camp on time, then was on the field for practice yesterday, not holding out, but still wanting an extension. Buffalo also had Joey Bosa back on the field after dealing with a calf injury all spring. So
I like donuts, baby!
Did you see the Hard Knocks first trailer dropped yesterday?
I did.
Yeah, I saw about,
fired up, Maggie?
I'm not going to be able to handle this.
I saw about 15 seconds of it, and I was like, yeah, it's going to be another Hard Knocks in the 2000s and 10s and 20s. It's going to stink.
As a fan, wow. I'm not that bummed about that. If some huge bombshell doesn't come out about the team that you've been rooting for your entire life and hope that they win a Super Bowl this year, as a fan, I'm kind of hoping we don't get a big expose. But listen, as a just football person, I hope it's interesting.
Hey, Manny, what do you not like about the Hard Knocks now?
The fact that I just fall asleep during them. They're boring to me. It's not good content in my opinion. The old stuff was hysterical, funny stuff. I remember watching old clips from 2000s.
Rex Ryan.
Oh yeah, that used to be great. Nowadays, you had the good one with the Giants one, and that's the only anomaly. All of them.
That was the good one. They had one good clip. That was the most boring season of Hard Knocks I thought.
That was the best one because
I agree.
Every day they came out with what?
And if you think that that's boring, Maggie, isn't that a referendum on the rest of them?
No. The Saquon stuff ended up living forever, but the guys just farting around at the combine, I could care less about that.
When they were in the room and they were going over the running back prospects, and one of the coaches said, "Hey, did you know this guy ran for 1,600 yards?" I was like, "Whoa, really?" I'm like, "That's the analytics you have in the Giants war room? What is going on here?"
I still will never forget that Giants assistant in the front office talking about, so if we lose Saquon Barkley, that's 65% of our offense. What's our identity? And Joe Shane's like, Daniel Jones, something, offensive line. That scene, I'm never going to forget that scene. Because the one guy in the office who asked the right question, we
never saw him again.
Yeah. I haven't seen him since. And Joe Shane had no answer.
He's with Jimmy Hoffa.
Was he the same guy that said, "Are we sure no one's going to pay Saquon?"
I think it was the same guy. Yeah.
That guy should run the team.
Yeah. Well, then the owner, John Mayer. Okay, maybe it was a little more interesting than I thought. John Mayer came in and goes, if he goes to the Eagles, I'll be very, very unhappy.
Now name the most memorable moment from the Hard Knocks at AFC North.
Well, by the way, I totally disagree with you.
Yeah,
one?
there you go.
I disagree a little bit. The Todd Haley, Freddie Kitchens fight in Cleveland was a good
really,
thing.
Yeah. No, it was Todd Haley and
it was
Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson. Yeah, Kitchens wasn't the coach at that point, I don't think.
Kitchens became the coach because both those guys flamed out.
Oh, okay.
He goes, I'm sitting in the big chair.
I remember they were
You're sitting in the big chair. You can make your decision. It was great.
Yeah, I thought Haley and Kitchens had a dust up too.
They might have.
Haley's kind of
guy.
That one got a lot of headlines. You guys are thinking, what year was Rex Ryan? That wasn't in the 2010s?
That was 2010.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go get a you-know-what snack.
But I think actually, Manny, my only point was Hard Knocks has always been the same. I just think there's so much access to football. Like every team's got a version. Just follow their Instagram feed. You'll see 7,000 behind the scenes clips.
Maybe it is watered down.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Bogusch, what else you got?
Texans wide out Tank Dell placed on the PUP list as training camp begins. D'Amico Ryan said Dell is recovering very well from that nasty knee injury at Arrowhead last December, but the expectation remains Dell misses the entire season. J.J. McCarthy missed all of last season, needing 2 surgeries on his knee, but Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones are gone. Aaron Rodgers never came, so JJ's QB1 in Minnesota.
I feel different just because, it's a different situation being year 2, knowing the offense a lot better than I did when I first came in here, and knowing the guys and how they move and, how they react to certain, coaching points and just little, things that go along with day-to-day, practice and meetings. And, yeah, it's definitely a different feeling and a really good one.
Apparently, McCarthy lost some weight while rehabbing this knee issue, but he's now back to 220. His highlight of day 1 of training camp was a 60-yard connection to Jordan Addison.
That is a hard team to predict, by the way. Maggie and I were like, the Vikings, yeah, you like them, right? Like, you like them, but then you look at the NFC North and be like, well, they got J.J. McCarthy. I'm not betting on this team.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if we're going a little too far in the other direction of fading them so hard because you still have Justin Jefferson, you still have Jordan Addison, you still have a really good offensive line, you have a run game, you've got a good tight end. Like, you've got all the things. So.
I could easily see them in the NFC title game just as well. What if J.J. McCarthy's good? Then it's like, whoa.
He might be.
Then we're talking Super Bowl.
Remember, you thought this that quarterback draft class was going to be like
definitely. And I still
1983.
Think that. Did you see the headlines the other day that the Bears were looking hard at J.J. McCarthy?
I did see that.
According to The Athletic?
Yeah, that's what Cole said.
Yeah, there are a lot of J.J. McCarthy stands in the NFL. It's kind of weird.
The Bears.
It wasn't that long ago that the Guardians were on a 10-game losing streak. Now they win almost every day.
Line drive, base hit center field. Here comes Bo around third. Rugi waves him home. Throw to the plate. Safe. Stephen Kwan delivers the tie-breaking 2-out RBI single in the 8th.
That's on Guardians TV. Stephen Kwan's RBI single, getting them a 3-2 win over Baltimore. Cleveland now 11-2 since that long losing streak. The Rangers with a 3-game sweep of the A's with a 2-1 final. The White Sox rallying for an 11-9 win in Tampa. Those Rays led 4-0 and 7-5. They've now dropped 11 of 16. And the Red Sox outlasted the Phillies 9-8-11. The MLS All-Stars beat some guys from the Mexican League 3-1 last night in Austin. But the headline is no Messi. Leo and his Miami teammate Jordi Alba skipped the game, weren't even there, presumably to rest after a hellacious recent schedule. But they are now subject to a 1-game suspension since they are not actually injured, as far as we know.
And good, because, I mean, they've had this long workload, which I understand. They need a break because it's been absolutely crazy. But, I mean, to not even show up, just show up, dude. Answer 2 questions in Spanish and just show up to the event. He wasn't even there. He deserves his 1 game. Hey, and if he wants rest, you'll get him right now with that 1-game suspension. He deserves it.
Am I noticing a trend in America? You don't really have to show up. You need long breaks like Christian Pulisic. Like, maybe he's kind of following the American lead.
That's not what you want, because how many World Cups have the Americans won? Nada. Cero. Leonel.
And alone in the WNBA last night, the Atlanta Dream, a 90-79 win in Phoenix. Brittany Griner, 17 points and 8 rebounds against the team she played 11 seasons for. Guys, back to you.
Bogusch, thanks so much. Coming up, the latest person to weigh in on the Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons tete-a-tete. Get to that next.
Michael Parsons.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Giddy up. It's time for the Cowboy Quickie. Pearl, been a lot of Cowboy chatter over the last couple days because Jerry Jones first kind of took a side swipe at Micah Parsons and Dak Prescott in his training camp press conference, saying, hey, even if when I pay these guys, then I don't know if they're going to stay healthy. Like, look at Dak Prescott. Missed games last year. Micah Parsons missed games.
Facts.
They are facts.
Jerry is spitting facts right now.
Yeah, he didn't have it exactly right when he said how many games they missed. But
Mike Parsons' name.
And he's called him Michael Parsons.
Seen worse.
Here's CeeDee Lamb now, who knows what it's like to go through a extended contract situation with Jerry and company. Said he hates playing these media games with Jerry Jones, hopes Micah gets his money.
For Mike, man, Mike knows I love him, and being in this situation, obviously playing this media game with Jerry is not the best. It's not fun. It's not recommended. But as for Micah, he knows what he brings to this table. Honestly, for this team, for himself, and he should get what he deserves. And I'm not indulging in any of the craziness that they got going, but I do want Micah to get paid soon.
I love it. It's like negotiating with Jerry, 0 stars, would not recommend. It's basically what CeeDee Lamb just said. Not a positive review. It's not fun. Wouldn't recommend it. So I don't know if that's going to help any of this because, to be honest, like, I think Jerry loves this. I think he loves the attention that it all brings. It obviously costs him money generally, so it's not like it's great for the bottom line.
Are you kidding me?
Jerry just wants to be in the news, and that's your Cowboy Quickie for today.
That is true. I can't argue with that. But I also think Jerry does not like handing out money. It's weird because
he ends up doing it.
But he's got the most it feels like every dollar that's taken out of his hand is pried out because he has the most valuable franchise in all of sports. Maybe more than the Yankees, maybe more than, I don't know, Real Madrid or something. And still, he seems to account for every dollar. He's like, well, I paid Trayvon Diggs, and look what he did. Like, he actually takes it personally when these guys do not deliver on his investment, which is not how a football team works. You have a salary cap and you have to spend it. You can't like look at every dollar like that, right? No other owner is talking about, man, I feel bad. I wasted money on this guy.
Well, so if you think their injury histories are, problematic, or you think they should in any way like impact future contracts, then do something about that. Don't just whine and complain about it and then end up making these guys the highest paid at their position. If it's a legit injury concern, which is kind of what he was hinting at, or not hitting at, he was just saying there's no guarantees they're going to play. But if you're really concerned about injury, then don't sign Dak Prescott. Move on from him. Like, it's not like Dak was the picture of health before they gave him the $60 million and he got hurt for another time.
But you say that it was not that easy. Again, I'm going to defend Jerry here. Like, even you and I did not know what to do about Dak. Listen, the mistake was made. They should not have let him get the free agency. They should have paid him earlier. But he was coming off a season where he was second in MVP voting. To say not pay Dak is easier in theory. Like, I think a lot of people were like, yeah, you kind of have to pay Dak. He came off a great season. What's your other option? Cooper Rush? You're just going to say, Dak, you can leave. I'm going to go Cooper Rush. So I think, like, and again, what if Micah Parsons is asking for crazy guarantees for the next 5 years? Like, maybe Jerry's right. Maybe he should be playing hardball. Have you ever thought of that angle?
Can I just pose another question to you? Because you're asking me questions that I don't know the answer to. I have no idea if anyone's being unreasonable about the X's and O's of the contract. All I know is I'm very confident that Micah Parsons will get this contract and it will be touted as he is the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. But can I ask you another question? A little 30,000-foot view on the Cowboys. I think people would generally think, playing for the Cowboys has probably got to be really fun. No, you don't win Super Bowls, but you have America's team. You get very famous, endorsement opportunities. Anywhere you go in the country, being a Dallas Cowboy, you can find Cowboy fans, because their fan base is so universal. This seems like it's not that fun to be a Cowboy. And CeeDee Lamb saying this is not fun to do these contract negotiations. You're under this crazy microscope. Remember these stories, and a couple of them now have come out, about how they have tours that go through the Star while guys are weightlifting and stuff. Guys have come out and said it makes us feel uncomfortable. We feel like we're in a zoo. This is our workspace, and all of a sudden you got people coming in taking pictures like tourists. Is it actually not that fun to be a Dallas Cowboy?
Well, Zeke Elliott seemed to love it. I mean, maybe it depends how you're cut out. It seems like CeeDee Lamb has a lot going on besides just the Cowboys. I don't know. I mean, you get to go out to Oxnard. That's awesome.
Okay, but there's other teams that hold training camps in fun places.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like, first of all, I think it's I don't think it's so dissimilar because I heard a lot of people talk about, for example, the tourist group. A lot of players that's no big deal at all.
Yeah, I've heard both.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, every training camp has tons of fans around. Like every training camp sells tickets to fans. I don't think the Cowboys is that much of a pain. I think it's pretty much like any other team. You think it's so different?
I don't know, but I just can tell from the places I've been, I would never be allowed as a media member to sit in a weight room and watch the Jets lift weights. Like I've never been in a situation.
You're saying they can sit in the weight room?
Well, they're walking by the weight room.
You can see there are a lot of actually the Texans. I know they have a fully transparent weight room, the glass is open.
Yeah, I guess the Jets maybe too. I'm trying to think of Jets and Giants. I've never actually seen the Giants weight room, and I've been out there many, many times. I don't think that's open at all.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I don't know.
I think there are other open weight rooms, but then again, it's an NFL team. You're getting paid a ton of money. Is it really that much of a pain in the butt?
To me, no. But to these guys, they feel like it's their personal space. I don't know.
Also, they seem, listen, Jerry hires relatively nice guys as coach. Like Brian Schottenheimer seems like a player's coach. At least I don't remember him being like that back in the day, but it seemed like everybody was psyched that Brian Schottenheimer was there. Jason Garrett was pretty friendly. It doesn't seem like the hardest place to play. You really think it's like, oh my God, don't give me the Cowboys? I think CD is maybe a different cat. I'm not sure.
Figure it out.
I don't know. It just is it all the fun that maybe you would think it's cracked up to be, just by being on such a famous, playing for such a famous franchise. You've always thought that guys get elevated because of the star.
Yeah, it's sort of calmed down right now because there aren't a lot of household names on that team. Even Dak, about 5 years ago, Dak got every commercial, and now he doesn't. Even his buzz is down. Like, I don't see him in as many commercials. Remember, he was like Sleep Number and Oikos and the Greek yogurt. I feel like, and CeeDee Lamb doesn't get a lot of commercials. I don't see him. So I don't even know if they're stars anymore. Like, who are the household names?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily even yes, I think part of it is the endorsement deals, but I also think it's Pro Bowls. Because I remember, there used to be a long time, at least with the team that I grew up rooting for with Buffalo, that guys didn't want. It was a tough place to go, first of all, because they weren't very good for a long time. But also, you felt like you couldn't make Pro Bowls there. Now, Josh Allen has changed that because there's so many more eyeballs. They get all these primetime games. But the Cowboys get the most eyeballs, right? That's the thing. And so guys have can maybe make Pro Bowls when there could be someone else who's more deserving. So you do get elevated in that way.
I mean, I think Micah Parsons got elevated by being there for sure. Like he's in the headlines all the time, in part because he's a Cowboy. The thing is, I think if you open up free agency, I think tons of players would choose to go to Dallas. So
right.
For one reason, because of visibility. Also, tons of players are from Dallas. Like this is home to so many NFL players. I would imagine more than pretty much any city in the country. I don't know that you're painting it like, oh, it's miserable. Yes, maybe negotiating with Jerry when you're trying to get the highest paid contract is not fun. I don't think it's that hard to be a Cowboy. I think you and I see this differently. And who cares if their fans around? Like, does that really bother you?
It's not me, them. I'm not going off what I think.
All the quotes were kind of disgruntled guys, right? Who probably most of the quotes were from guys who left the Cowboys.
Yeah, but that's not uncommon. Kevin is in San Antonio. Kevin, does it seem like a lot of fun to be a Cowboy right now?
Nope. If I was a player for the Cowboys and I'm trying to get my contract, Jerry Jones is in the way because, number one, remember back in the days when the Cowboys were real good, Jimmy Johnson was in full control. Now, since that Eagle came up, they never been successful for 30 years. Mm-hmm. And they're going to keep on having problems with players. Dak Prescott, he may be injury prone. You never know. He may not even complete a season.
Well, Jerry paid him anyway.
Yeah, and he paid him anyway. But see, what comes around goes around.
Kevin, I got to ask you a question away from football for a second. So Kevin sends us a picture of his breakfast every morning at maggieandperloff@gmail.com, and we love it. I noticed you've been using a lot of lemon lately in some of your recipes. Are you just going through a phase, or you always like lemon in your pancakes and lemon cake and stuff?
Well, I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to put lemon in it, lemon juice in the pancake mix. Now I got a strawberry cake. I'm going to work on the strawberry cake, and I'm going to send the pictures to you.
I can't wait for that. Thank you, Kevin. This is fantastic. Every morning I open up maggieandperloff@gmail.com, and I know that I'm going to have a picture of Kevin's fun breakfast and now some other baked goods.
Yeah, I don't get the lemon in pancakes.
You've never heard of a lemon ricotta pancake or anything like that?
No? I've heard of blueberry pancakes. Yeah, I don't think IHOP had lemon ricotta when I was a kid.
Bisquick, little Bisquick. Boom, done.
Yeah. No, nothing beats it. God, pancakes are so good.
Lemon ricotta pancakes. You say that like, oh, of course, lemon. That's a thing?
That sounds way too bougie
for me. This is New York brunch, guys. Come on. You guys know what
Bacon, egg, and cheese, baby.
Kevin's got that too.
Chicken and waffles. Now, that's the hot New York thing.
Don't tell people from the South that's a Southern thing.
Man, now I'm hungry, guys. Darn it.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
We got some clarity on what we thought was going to be a legit quarterback competition in training camp. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. A lot of news coming out of these training camps, Pearl. And when it relates to the quarterback, of course, we're going to be all over it. And it ties in nicely with something that we are calling one big quarterback question.
I feel so lucky to be the quarterback.
It's the position everyone wishes they could play.
Why can't I be quarterback, huh? Sit down and shut up.
But it's not for the faint at heart.
Quarterbacks are premium.
I think those things add up to make it quarterbacking the toughest job in sports.
Maggie and Perloff answer one big question about the quarterback.
All right, yesterday got a little heated when EJ asked us if Jalen Hurts was a top 10 quarterback. That one got people upset.
Yeah, my parents had to disown you for saying mean things about their quarterback, Jalen Hurts.
Not Tom and Carol.
Oh, yeah, you're not invited to Thanksgiving anymore. I'm so sorry.
What can I do to get back in their good graces between now and then? I have to brainstorm. But
no
today,
cheesesteaks for Maggie.
I'm devastated. Truly. Let's get to the second big quarterback question. EJ, it's one of the Eagles' biggest rivals.
Yes, let's go to the New York Football Giants.
Why?
Camp opened recently, and Brian Daboll was recently asked about the quarterback competition. Is there any chance that Russell Wilson won't start?
These guys will be out here competing, but Russ is our starter.
So I'm asking you guys the question here. Is there a quarterback competition in New York, and do you believe that Russell Wilson will be the Giants' starter this season?
I believe the man. Why would Brian Daboll didn't stutter there? It's going to be Russell Wilson. I mean, honestly, and I think Russell Wilson backed up by Jameis Winston heading into the season because I don't think Jackson Dart. There's no way he's going to be close because he came out of a Lane Kiffin offense in college. We all knew he was developmental. Why would you throw him in against the hardest schedule in the NFL? Why would you throw him into this? I think we were unrealistic, anyone who thought Jackson Dart was going to play early, like especially week one.
Okay, so week one, I think it's probably going to be Russell Wilson. I'll grant you that, but I do not believe that Russell Wilson is going to be the starter for 17 games this season, and I don't think Jameis Winston is going into the season as the backup, quite frankly, because Daboll yesterday did open the door for Dart to win the backup role. And anyone who thinks it's an actual not weighted competition to who's going to be QB2 is fooling themselves, in my opinion, because so many people's jobs are riding on Jackson Dart being a success. So I've already told you guys, I'm on record. I think Jackson Dart's first start in the NFL is Sunday, October 5th at New Orleans. Knowing a little bit about the Giants, I think they like to start rookies on the road. Manny, why are you looking at me like that?
Is that week 5?
Week 5, Sunday, October 5th against New Orleans.
I don't know. Seems a little early, but continue.
Yeah, well, I'm calling my shot because I saw what they did with Daniel Jones, where no one thought he was going to replace Eli Manning in week 2 of that season, or week 3, I believe it was, against Tampa Bay on the road. And the Giants also replaced Kurt Warner with Eli Manning and did that much earlier than anyone thought.
I think they did week 10 or 11.
It was I thought it was 9 games in. And
they're 5-4, as I recall.
They had a winning record, and it didn't go over well in the locker room. They do this, the Giants. They shoehorn these guys in sometimes when it's a bit earlier than you think. Even if it was week 9, week 10, whatever with Eli Manning, who cares? They were going to be a playoff team, and they put Eli in, and Eli's record that season was 1-6. No, he did. He won 1-6, and they didn't make the playoffs. And guys were ticked off.
Well, here's the thing. They need to make Jackson Dart look good, right?
Yeah.
So I know you're penciling this New Orleans game because, at New Orleans, that's probably a W. But coming right off of New Orleans, you got Philadelphia, number 1 defense in the league last year. Then at Denver, probably the number 1 defense in the league this year. Then at Philadelphia, number 1 defense in the league last year. That's not what you want. You do not want Jackson Dart. Yeah, you get him in New Orleans. Can you then pull him real quick and throw Russ back in and then bring Jackson Dart? Well, they want to make Jackson Dart look good. Unfortunately, their schedule is brutal. I think they have to wait till later. In fact, I will do a show bet that it's closer to December than week 5. I agree it's not going to be Russ unless they are really good. And if they're not destined for the playoffs, they do have to go to the young guy. I think it'll be later on just because they want to make him look good and they want to get him ready. And I think they're afraid week 5 would be throwing him into the fire a little bit, just a little bit too early, not radically.
Same thing they would have said about Daniel Jones, but again, they did that. And here's the other part where it's just a bit unfortunate for the Giants as they're trying to do this delicate dance about when do you get the first round quarterback in without killing his confidence, literally getting him killed maybe because your offensive line, who knows, it's the Giants, their offensive line has always been sus. They don't have their bye week until week 14.
Yeah.
It's a super late bye. So here's the other factor that was not a factor they had to think about when Eli Manning was a rookie and was not even really a factor when Daniel Jones was a rookie. It hadn't gotten this bad. Where, yes, the Giants have this really tough schedule. They start at Washington, at Dallas, home Kansas City, home Chargers.
0-4, baby.
And you know what's going to happen? People are going to stop showing up to the stadium. This is not one of those franchises where they're going to pack the house no matter what. And I think that John Mara, the owner of the Giants, is going to look at that and say, we need a reason for people to get excited and actually come to the ballpark, come to the stadium. And that's why they will fast-track Jackson Dart.
I don't think this is 0-4, by the way.
Stop.
I mean, first of all, I don't think at Washington there's anything. That's going to be an NFC East battle, a who-knows situation. I don't think at Dallas is impossible either. And then I think the Chargers on the East Coast, that's a different animal altogether.
It is a 1 o'clock start, that Chargers. The Kansas City game is primetime.
Dallas and if you're afraid of Dallas and Washington, then you should be really afraid of the second half of the schedule, Manny.
What do you got, 3-1 then?
Not 3-1, but no, I don't think they go into that game 0-4. I totally agree, by the way, about the relevancy. The problem is, if Jackson Dart comes in and is terrible, then you have nothing to turn to then.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Manny, do you mind doing something? Fade the music down if you don't mind, because we have a clip from yesterday. Now listen, we're doing this just to be funny. We're not taking anything serious from this. We're just going to play the audio for you because it's rare that we get a play from training camp that elicits this type of response from the people and crowd that was watching. So Here's Jackson Dart at training camp, unfortunately throwing a pick 6, and you're going to hear the crowd.
Yeah, that's great.
So audible.
This is going to be great.
Threw a touchdown on his next pass.
He did. Brazilians.
That, by the way, was his first
you said
pass.
Brazilians?
He threw a touchdown on the next pass.
Brazilians.
Yes.
I thought I heard Brazilians. I'm sorry.
No, Brazilian butt lifts. We'll get to that.
One thing about, you mentioned Daniel Jones. As I recall, Daniel Jones came from David Cutcliffe at Duke. Like, he ran a pro style. Like, this is. I know everybody runs a version of the spread, but like Jackson Dart coming into the draft was not considered ready. So that's why I would, they have to be very careful. If they put him in week 5 against New Orleans, and listen, I'm not betting my house against you. You've been pretty adamant about this. You've kind of convinced me. That is this is going to be dicey. Like that interception we saw in camp, if that's the first pass against, now that Honey Badger's gone, I probably cannot name a defensive back there. Is Lattimore healthy? I think that's dangerous. Like, what if he goes in week 5 and he just gets lit up, 4 interceptions? Then where are you as a franchise? Who's coming out? That's a road game. His next home game, I mean, that could be over. They could fire Dable in week 8 if this didn't work.
Well, I mean, those guys are kind of staring that down, aren't they?
I think that's why they're going with the veteran, because they want to win some of these games. I think that's why they're going with Russ, who, by the way, did not look great in the little clips. He underthrew Malik Neighbors by about 14 yards on the one play that was going around Twitter. But who knows? I think
this is the problem. Yeah. This is why Giants ownership is not good, and they deserve to be criticized. Because they've set up now this sort of all-or-nothing season for their coach and GM when they are not an all-or-nothing team.
Yeah,
they're a developmental team. The quarterback you're just saying is, needs work. He's a project.
Listen, they made the playoffs with Daniel Jones. They won a playoff game. So I think ownership is living off that and saying, Brian Daboll, you're a good coach. You can get this going. Their defense could be sick.
Yep.
So they could win with this crazy defensive line as long as you don't run on them. And the problem is, if they're bad, I mean, here's a real problem that makes no sense to me. Say they're top 5. I mean, they're drafted a quarterback next year. So you made Jackson Dart the first-round pick this year. If he's not good, which he will not be if he gets it too early, then you're going to be behind Cade Klubnik next year. So what are we doing? Like, what are we doing as a franchise?
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. You're asking the exact question the Giants fans are asking.
I mean, there are a lot. By the way, I don't understand why the Browns took 2 quarterbacks, and now everyone's saying they're drafting a quarterback next year. And why the Saints are going to Tyler Shuck when they're drafting a quarterback next year. It's a very confusing time for rookie quarterbacks. That class is weird, right? Like, all these situations are odd. Like, you're tanking, but you have a young quarterback. So what are the Giants doing? But you actually, sorry, real quick, said the Giants, you saw a scenario where they were playoff. I kind of took that from you.
What's that?
That the Giants are a playoff team, possibly.
No, I think there's a playoff mandate, which is weird, or close to it from the owner.
Do you see, if you squint, can you see the Giants working out?
It's just that the schedule is so brutal. I mean, they just got nothing is really working with them. There's no wind at their back, like sometimes you need a little luck or you just need something to break, like that first season that everyone talks about where Brian Daboll won Coach of the Year and they were great and they won a playoff game. Do you know how lucky they got in some of those games? I mean, they won games, guys, the opponents were missing game-winning field goals. Like, there were a few things that really broke right, and everyone also thought that Minnesota Vikings team was not a legit like their record was so much better than the actual team. So even who they beat in that playoff game was a little, dicey. And no wind at their back this time around.
Well, also, too, sometimes teams with young running quarterbacks win games on their legs. I mean, Daniel Jones' legs were the main weapon that year.
Totally.
So I think sometimes you can, like Vince Young, reach the playoffs with the Titans when he really wasn't a good quarterback because he could run like crazy.
So we're doing one big question about the quarterback, one a day until the kickoff of the season, which is going to be September 4th, and that's going to be Eagles and Cowboys. What's funny, though, about today's question was obviously about Jackson Dart because we're doing the Giants. Cam Ward, like, getting no pressure. It's so funny. He's the number 1 overall pick in that class.
Got every rep yesterday. Apparently, the backup didn't even get a single first-team rep.
Well, Will Levis is now out with season-ending
shoulder surgery. Yeah.
Yeah. So who is the backup?
Brandon Allen and Tim Boyler there, and maybe they'll bring in somebody else. But Cam Ward, first of all, he was going to start anyway, and people are saying he's not getting buzz. Everything I've seen and heard is like awesome start in Tennessee. Like, they're thrilled beyond belief to have him.
Let's get to some sports nicknames. No.
Everybody knows the quarterback.
Stand by.
Okay. There we go.
All right. Here we go.
Legends aren't born, they're nicknamed. It's Maggie and Perloff's search for the greatest nickname in sports.
Okay, we have the voting open in the Tough Guys and Enforcers region that we announced last hour. So just to recap, that's Mean Joe Green against Sweetness, Walter Payton, and the Intimidator against Smokin' Joe Frazier. So you can go to @Maggie and Pearl right now, and you can go vote. Let's get to the Flash and Fun region, where we did have a major upset in this region when the 1 seed got eliminated yesterday, Pearl. That was Big Papi.
Crazy.
I know. He was beaten by the Fridge, William Refrigerator Perry.
Okay. That's a good 8 seed.
He's up now.
Made up this Monday night, Battle Royal, this man, the Refrigerator, William Perry from the Super Bowl champion Chicago Bears. In this Battle Royal, 511 pounds, 7'4.5", Andre the Giant. Are the butterflies there? You thinking about Andre?
Oh, yes, I always think about Andre. Andre's he's the biggest, and I don't know if he's the best. So we got all of us going to have to get out there, and we're gonna wrestle and stuff. I'm going to have to watch out for Andre so he won't slap me.
Well, there's a lot going on in that clip. I did not expect that. The Frizz wrestled Andre the Giant at one point. I need video.
Did they actually get into the ring together?
Yeah, Andre Giant was part of one of the WrestleManias, I believe. And
No.
I mean, it's not Andre, of course.
The Fridge.
Fridge, right. And that was a big thing they were hyping up.
Who won?
Well, it was a Battle Royal. I assume the Fridge eliminated Andre. I have to check out the video.
Amazing. Okay. The Fridge is going up against the 12th seed, Beast Mode.
It kind of grew with me from Pop Warner.
Yeah.
It was man-child and evolved as I got a little older. And then, high school, college, and it just stuck. And now it's just like, you know what I'm saying? You see it.
It's just everywhere. Well, now it's a T-shirt,
It grew up on me.
If you stick with something, it becomes a T-shirt. Kids, that's the lesson. But
Don't we know it? Merchandising. Beast Mode t-shirts. That's with Marshawn Lynch with Conan O'Brien. So Beast Mode and the Fridge going head-to-head. Pearl, the next matchup in the Flash and Fun region as we try to determine the greatest sports nickname of all time. The 6 seed, Dr. J.
I was there when he had that famous dunk against the Lakers. Literally stole the ball right in front of me.
It's going to be stolen by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way rocks the baby to sleep and slam dunk. And the doctor made a sensational play.
I can't explain it. I mean, it was just like this intense release of emotion. It was incredible.
Pearl, I'll give you $100 if you can tell me who was just telling that story about watching front row as Dr. J did that cradle dunk.
Okay, so that was probably 82?
Barack Obama.
82, who would have been in the crowd? God.
I'll give you 1,000 guesses. You'll never get it.
Can you give me the field? Is it an actor?
It's a baseball player. A Hall of Fame baseball player who played in New York and L.A.
Huh.
You're never going to get it. Is it Mike Piazza? Mike Piazza? Who's in the front
Piazza
row?
is old enough to remember that?
Was Dr. J did the cradle dunk?
Yeah, he said he was a kid.
I mean, Piazza, very famous Philly guy.
Dr. J, the 6 seed, up against the 2 seed in this region, the Round Mound of Rebound.
So we went on a 2-day eating binge. We got up the first morning. I had like 6 pancakes, bacon, washed it down with a vanilla shake. Then we went to lunch. I think I had like 4 or 5 pieces of Kentucky Fried Chicken, some mashed potatoes, some coleslaw. Then we went to dinner someplace. I had like a T-bone steak, had a baked potato. And then next day did the exact same thing.
That was Barkley telling Graham Benzinger he went on a 2-day eating binge because he wanted to avoid being drafted by the Sixers.
But they do have some big old women.
That didn't work out.
That's not fair. 2 of my favorites going against each other.
Well, Dr. J against Charles Barkley, an all-Philly matchup.
Charles worshipped Dr. J. You ever seen him talk about, obviously a mentor to him, that Charles would sit down this one and say, advance Dr. J.
We're going to send him to Galveston with that dirty-ass water.
Okay, quickly, we've got results for you as well in the Legends and Legacy region of the Maggie and Perloff Greatest Sports Nickname of All Time bracket. The great one, Wayne Gretzky, easily moves on.
The great one.
Beat out the 12th seed, the Galloping Ghost. And the 3 seed, the Great Bambino, moves on.
The Great Bambino!
Beat out the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, 64% to 35%. So it'll be the Great One against the Great Bambino in that matchup.
A lot of
the
great.
Elite Eight.
It's a great matchup.
Yeah, it is a great matchup. So there you go. We've got voting open at Maggie and Pearl on X. Let your voice be heard as we are trying to determine the greatest sports nickname ever.
I got to look at the whole bracket. I would love a Dr. J, Air Jordan final matchup. Basically, all things coming up, Perloff.
888-710-4ISN. We're also asking you about the Giants quarterback situation. Can Jackson dart? Do you throw him to the Wolves early? Or do you ride with Russell Wilson, but you might be riding right off a cliff?
Thanks, Maggie.
I'm sorry, Manny. It's just the facts.
The Yankees already got me going crazy. Now the Giants are going to have. When did the Knicks start?
The low lights from yesterday's Yankee game were pretty low. That team can't field to save their lives, but we've known that for quite a long time. Coming up, what do the other ACC coaches think about Bill Belichick joining the ranks? We've got that for you next.
Moist pork so delicious. Fashion icon, always ambitious. Rocking the threads, fresh and clean. Styling on the scene, living the dream. Loves Twitch, not YouTube. Always dancing, never in the mood. Live streaming with 1 million views. Sipping on success and paying his dues. Loves Baltimore, city of his heart. Representing, playing his part. But hates back callers, ain't no doubt. Gotta stay fly, that's what it's about. Moist pork so delicious.
Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
With a grin on his face, Yankee pinstripes all over the place. But his chest is out like he's on the beach. Moist pork yells, button up, you creeped. Oh, Manny, button your jersey. You ain't A-Rod, stop trying to be flirty. It's not a runway, it's the Bronx, my guy. Even Derek had his top button tied. Now Moist pork sweating, pacing the floor. He can't take one more, man, need decor. The buttons exist for a reason, son. You ain't playing shirtless till this game is won. Meanwhile, Belotti's nowhere to be found. Called out again, that's the 8th go-round. He's dumping something. The clubhouse groans, probably dumping us on speakerphone. Oh, Manny, button your jersey. You make Joe Torre roll over and curse thee. You ain't a calendar, this ain't a thirst trap. This is Yankee Stadium, pull up that flap. So Moist pork's got tape, he's ready to act. Start sticking buttons back on that chest rack. You show some pride in those navy threads. This ain't Miami, this is the Yanks, he said. Belotti calls in, I'm sick again, bro. We all shout back, that's a hell of a show. But Manny just winks, lets the top hang low, and Moist pork combusts like a pressure hose. Oh, Manny, button your jersey. You're giving the Bronx to a hernia, surely. It's baseball, not Baywatch, keep it on tight before Moist pork throws hands tonight.
One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. This portion of the show is sponsored by the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event going on now. Get deals so right, it almost feels wrong. Don't miss out. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. All right, Maggie, college football. We're still in the Big Ten, right? Are they still talking? When is that over?
Oh, yeah. They're still talking through today. And the ACC is also talking.
Okay. I'm actually, I'm a little bit over people arguing about the college football playoff format. I'm actually ready to actually start talking some college football. Like, now that the media days are wrapping up, like, are we ready to start, like, making predictions? I want to see some polls. I want to talk about the players. Enough format, enough NIL. Let's get into some actual players.
All right, let's do some superlatives then, and a college football one. What was the biggest off-season acquisition for a college football program. So I don't know if that doesn't really seem like a freshman coming in, although I guess you could go that way if you wanted to. What's the biggest offseason acquisition for a college team?
I mean, the reality is, especially if it's a true freshman, it's very rare for them to make that kind of impact. I'm going to go with John Mateer, the quarterback at Oklahoma. If you want to have a good time, Google John Mateer highlights at Washington State, and it's not because of his arm is good. His running is awesome. Talk about, he's like, we had a nickname. We're doing a nickname bracket, and Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch. John Mateer's got a little crazy legs to him. He is electric. And listen, Oklahoma is overdue. They better be good. I think he is a breakout star here. Absolutely, following in the footsteps of Cam Ward, of course, transferring from Washington State. This is a guy I'm most excited to watch this year. And also, too, I think NFL draft, I'm not so sure that he's definitely going to be a great NFL player, but college player, he's perfect.
We're asking what's the biggest offseason acquisition. That's our superlative today for both college. We'll answer it later for the pros. But I love you said, do you want a good time? Like, hey, sit back, crack open a beer, and watch some John Mateer highlights.
John Mateer highlights are a blast.
My biggest offseason acquisition, I hope you don't think this is cheating, but I'm going to go with a coach, and it's got to be Bill Belichick. I mean, this is such a huge story that has taken on so many different other elements and layers because of Belichick's young girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. But before this was a salacious dating story, this was a football story that was crazy. The fact that maybe the greatest NFL head coach of all time is not only going to the college ranks after being, spurned by the NFL, but decided to take over the North Carolina Tar Heels of all places. So really, really fun story. Definitely the biggest acquisition. I guess Gio Lopez is the biggest acquisition he made on his roster, the South Alabama quarterback. But without a doubt, Belichick has just spiced up the ACC in a way that we haven't seen since Miami was doing their thing.
There's something about North Carolina football. Always disappoints. There's no program that's ever had more violations and more first-round picks with less wins to show for it. Are we sure? It's like kind of being drafted as a quarterback by the Chicago Bears. Are we sure Belichick can elevate this program that has always, going back to Lawrence Taylor, been unelevatable?
Well, I'm glad you brought up the Bears because we might see the turning point for both programs. Maybe Belichick really helps North Carolina on the football field, and maybe Caleb Williams, who's talking real big about throwing for 4,000 yards, the first Bears quarterback ever to reach that mark, and he wants to do it with a 70% completion percentage. And I don't think he's getting laughed out of the building, by the way.
First of all, 70% completion percentage in the NFL is crazy. That's like everybody now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like in the mid 60s,
the average one is like
everyone else.
68%. Like they throw so many bubble screens, and Ben Johnson's going to have him throwing 1 million screen passes. Anyway, that's not the point. Bears have won before, though. Even though they have not a 4,000-yard passer, they've made a Super Bowl as recently as 2006, and they won a Super Bowl. North Carolina is a cursed program, Maggie. And I meant the quarterback position with the Bears is cursed.
Yeah.
So I just that is a little bit of the reason I'm having trouble getting as excited as you are about Belichick. Like if he could do it here, then if he can, he might make the playoff. Their schedule's so easy. If he actually won a title here, oh my God, I would be flabbergasted beyond belief.
So there you go. The biggest off-season acquisition, college football edition. Perloff says John Mateer, the new quarterback at Oklahoma. I'm saying Bill Belichick. The new head coach for the Tar Heels. Quickly, Sean is in Oregon, wants to weigh in on our nicknames bracket. It's going to be Air Jordan against Magic Johnson in a Elite Eight matchup. What's up, Sean?
Hey, thanks for taking my call to begin with. And I just want to say, if you got a great nickname, it's the name that people use with you all the time. I never heard anybody say Air Jordan goes for the win. Oh gosh, Air Jordan, he's the best player. But Magic Johnson, he just went by Magic. I didn't even know his name was Irving. It's like, since I was a little kid, it's the Magic this, Magic that. He's just, and that's the greatest nickname ever. I love Michael Jordan, and all his Airhead fans, but I'm going to root for Magic.
But I totally disagree.
Clever play on words there.
Totally disagree. It's become his name, and therefore is no longer a nickname. I think some people hold that against it. That's his name.
Jordan was a tennis shoe. Air Jordan was a thank you. Magic was a man. 5 championships. Played every position. Arguably one of the greatest players of all time.
We're talking about the nickname. This is not a referendum on Magic Johnson. Like, I'm just saying, nobody knows his real name, so doesn't that become his name? Like, if you Google him, Magic Johnson is his name, right?
See, I'm kind of with Sean on this one. I think it's so good, especially because you're right. Like, he became so synonymous with it, but how he got it is not just, a family name. Someone decided, we're going to call him Boobie Gibson or something like that. Like, he earned magic for how he plays basketball, and then it became so ubiquitous, it became his name. Yeah,
like Penny Hardaway. Like, I think there are guys like, I think you are out of the fun nickname territory, and that's just your name.
But Penny Hardaway, that has nothing to do with how he plays basketball. Like, Magic was about how he plays. It was his skill set that made him Magic. They didn't start calling him that at 5 years old because, Yeah,
I mean, listen, we'll see what the voters say. Even, I hate to say it, my guy, Dr. J, it's like, well, people don't even remember his real name. He was just Dr. J. I think, what if you grew up and you say, like, Mac Jones or Kool-Aid McKinstry? Is Kool-Aid McKinstry's nickname Kool-Aid? That's not his real name.
It is a nickname, yes.
It's a nickname. Yeah.
Or is it just his name?
You can go vote at Maggie and Pearl on X if you want to settle this score. Sean, thank you. Bogusch is here with all the latest and greatest.
Guys, good to see you again this morning. Elijah Arenas has had a very bad few weeks. Gilbert's son was a 5-star basketball recruit and graduated early from high school to get to USC for the coming season. But then he nearly died in a fiery car crash in April. He spent a week in the hospital, which included a medically induced coma while he recovered from smoke inhalation. Now he may miss the coming season because of a knee injury that requires surgery. He's expected to miss 6 to 8 months.
I have a question about that headline. I saw he's out for 6 to 8 months with a knee injury. So he tore his ACL.
Tore his meniscus is the report.
Oh, is that why they're not just saying tore ACL?
Yeah.
6 to 8 months for a meniscus?
A menisci, that can be bad.
I thought like Joel Embiid came back in 3 weeks. Like I thought meniscus was the easy one.
Shouldn't have.
Yeah, I think that's one of the problems he's had, right? But we did this last year with J.J. McCarthy.
Wait, I remember this whole debate. Like, do you go in and you tinker with it, or do you just rebuild it?
Yeah, I think the saying was always if they just remove your meniscus or remove the part of the meniscus, that you can come back quicker, but that's bad long term. If you repair it, it's going to take longer, but better for your long term health.
My other question about this headline was, this is Gilbert Arenas' kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Oh,
he's good, too.
Yeah.
This is a terrible story.
Yeah, it's bad because it makes me feel old again.
Oh,
that too. Makes you feel old.
Nothing will make you feel older than people you watching their kids now play at a high level. It's devastating.
It's also weird because Gilbert Arenas is such a hot take artist, and like he's like now in our media, too. So like to have this media figure who's like talking about LeBron every day or whatever. And now he's like, oh, by the way, my son's now playing college basketball and could be in the NBA in a year or two.
And my son keeps telling me this story where Gilbert, I think on purpose, didn't ever discuss being an NBA player with his kids. And I don't know if it was Elijah or a different son, but only found out because his friend came to school in an Arenas jersey and was like, hey, that's my name. And the kid was like, yeah, it's your dad. Like there's he didn't play up the fact that he was an NBA player. He kept the fact that he hooped? Something like that. Yeah, or didn't talk about how good he was or whatever. And so other people let them in on how good of a player their dad was.
That's wouldn't surprise me only because Gilbert has done some unorthodox things with his kids in terms of their development. Like I know he was big into you're gonna play at just some local high school. Like you're not going to Sierra Canyon or one of these schools. Like he's like you're gonna just play at a random high school. Because if you're that good, you're gonna make it this way. He has a lot of unorthodox things he's done, but it's worked up to this point.
I can think of one.
His kid's great.
I can remember of one unorthodox thing he did in a Wizards locker room.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Not that part where he brought the loaded gun in or the gun, but I covered those Wizards teams. I thought Gilbert's kid was kind of around.
Was it Elijah though?
I don't know. But
I think he has multiple kids.
Yeah,
it's
but
like Dion, man.
This is
How
a
many
long
kids
time
does he
ago.
have?
No, they were, but he would have been a baby.
Right.
I thought the Gilbert's kids were around, but
I
maybe
mean,
I'm
he's
wrong.
only 17, 18 years
so it
old.
wouldn't have been him.
It couldn't have been him.
Okay.
I also noticed he's really tall. Right?
Gilbert's like 6'4". Gilbert was a big guard.
Oh, okay. I see him listed at 6'7", but he looks even taller than that. I saw a highlight of him yesterday. He's pretty big.
Yeah, he's a wing. He's like a shooting
guard.
guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Gilbert was 6'4". Gosh, you're probably right.
He's a tall point guard.
Yeah. This guy doesn't look exactly like a point guard like Gilbert, though.
No, yeah, he's more of a wing. Bucket getter, though, just like his dad.
Poor Boston catcher Carlos Narvaez right in the middle of the back-to-back catchers interferences Monday and Tuesday in Philadelphia. But
I'm
last
going to
night,
step out for a second.
Last night, he made a good play with his bat.
2-2.
Swung on and ripped deep into left field. And is back at the track, at the wall. Goodbye! Homer for Carlos Narvaez. El Capitan puts the Red Sox ahead 9-7.
And they would win 9-8 in 11 over the Phils.
And why did the Phillies lose that game?
Because they're the Phillies.
No, the catcher missed a pop-up and the next pitch, like a pop-up was right behind home plate. Couldn't find it in the air. The next pitch, dinger. I hate baseball.
Hate it.
Losing baseball is more painful than losing any other sport because it's so slow and miserable.
Your team just won 2 games off catcher's interference. You can't. I told you it was going to balance
our catcher
out.
completely blew it.
I told you this is sports karma.
Your team swept the Angels. We're going to have a parade like the Knicks do here.
No sweep.
Thinking about
Hold on.
yeah.
All right. Now the 4 of us have to gang up on Perloff.
We haven't even mentioned the Mets in 2.5 hours.
I know, but it's in the air. It's in the air.
Is it in the air?
Yes. I could see Maggie walked in with a little bit of pep in her step. Definitely.
Did you see how the Mets won yesterday? Eric Bogusch, the home plate umpire, completely missed 3 calls outside, called them all strikes.
That's a makeup for the Subway Series.
Not how they won.
Right. Well, I mean, tiring run at the dish.
The Yankees lost last night, committing 4 errors in an 8-4 loss in Toronto.
Who cares?
The Jays again lead the AL East by 4 games. The Guardians top the O's 3-2. They've won 11-13. And the White Sox outscored the Rays 11-9. That's 5 out of 6 for Chicago. Arizona Cardinals first-round pick, D-tackle Walter Nolan III, missing the start of training camp with a calf injury from off-season training. Head coach Jonathan Gannon said they can't rule out Nolan missing the start of the regular season. And the Dolphins reportedly afraid that corner Artie Burns tore an ACL during their first training camp practice yesterday. WNBA last night, Atlanta, a 90-79 win in Phoenix. And then there's Sophie Cunningham. Caitlin Clark's enforcer is $500 lighter, courtesy of a league fine for criticizing officials on social media.
Stupid. Or is it slow? Maybe it's useless.
Audio only. That's Sophie's TikTok with a Sabrina Carpenter song, stupid, slow, useless. And the caption was, at some refs, and hence a $500 fine.
She got fined for a TikTok?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Public criticism of officials.
Wah, wah, wah.
But again,
do a better job, refs.
Or how about, a $500 fine is comical.
Well, respectfully.
The WNBA.
Yeah,
no,
respectfully, it's the W.
That's what I mean, though.
A large
that's
percentage of her
check.
game check. But here's, do you give a little leeway for creativity? Anyone can stand up in a press conference and be like, the refs suck today. This was going to a TikTok, finding that Sabrina Carpenter song, which is about a boyfriend, right? But anyway.
It's about men. I think it's called Man Child or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's definitely, it's one of your, I have no respect for men songs.
My playlist.
It's right up your alley.
I think I have no sympathy for men. I never said I don't respect them.
Sorry,
on the air.
sympathy.
Just kidding. No, I think if it's creative, they should let it slide.
Maybe that's why it's only $500. Maybe it would have been $1,000 if it wasn't creative. I don't know.
They took this into account.
Maybe.
I think so. I think if this was not a popular TikTok, I don't think they would have known it happened. I think because it was so good, people were like, this is funny. They're like, oh, you think it's funny? $500.
Take that.
Go.
What does she do next? Do you, put another one out?
Well, she
do you
did
escalate this?
Her tweet yesterday or whatever her post was, I was just kidding. And by the way, we have more important things to worry about in the league right now.
Like what?
Oh, their
The
upcoming
impending doom of CBA negotiations.
Yeah, their labor strife.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel like she owes him another one. Let's see what the league does. It's like, remember how James Harrison, whenever he would get fined by Goodell, it would go up and up and up and up. And finally, these hits, he was getting fined like $1 million. I think it started at $100,000. It was going up and up.
With the new CBA, that $500 fine is going to become like $2,000.
I kind of want to see Sophie Cunningham v. the WNBA.
Well, I feel like she's making a lot of money now, but did she add like millions of followers?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Yeah, and then people were like, whoa. She's quite pretty, right? So
Very talented. That's what I care about.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure the internet
Manny's there
is-
for the articles.
Yep.
I don't even think he gets that reference because I don't think Playboy was a thing when Manny was growing up. Did you get that reference? I was there for the articles.
No.
You did not. Yeah. It's okay.
Can you even read?
Very familiar. I can read Playboy. I can read those. Don't you worry about that one.
That was always the running joke about people would say, I read Playboy for the articles.
Oh, well, it's, you know what?
But magazines don't really exist anymore.
Those gentlemen, very sophisticated.
I always wanted to write for Playboy.
A lot of great writers did write for Playboy.
Well, you did, but they paid
Like in the 50s.
gazillions. They were like $8 a word or something crazy. They were famous in the magazine industry.
Shocking. The money was pouring in for Playboy.
Hugh knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Hugh knew.
I mean, basically, the entire sports media industry for years, my old company, lived off swimsuit issue, and now everybody lives off gambling. So, at the end of the day, our vices are the most important thing.
There's a good message for the kids. Yeah. And with that, why don't we take a quick time out?
With your Odyssey Sports Minute.
We'll come back and
God,
get
if
you
I
a
had
little...
a body part anyone wanted to see. Wait, sorry, I have to do a THC read coming up next.
Not Blue Chew? A little cold oil? Yeah.
Let me see what I got here. Okay. It's
Calling all boob.
Yeah. Does your thing point to the left?
Adult
That's
toy
helping
shaped
people. It's all helping people. We don't discriminate around here. And if you'd like to sponsor this show, you are welcome to do it.
Deeper.
Coming up, what did Dylan Raiola have to say about upcoming expectations for Nebraska? We've got that next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Grin on his face, Yankee pinstripes all over the place. But his chest is out like he's on the beach. Moist pork yells, button up, you creeped. Oh! Oh, Shep had a vision. He thought he was grand, thought LeBron would pick up, thought he'd make a stand. But the Lakers saw his email and let out a sigh. Is this guy for real? He must be high. Did you think you'd book the king on your weekend overnight thing? Bro, he's got rings, a yacht and a jet. You've got 3 insomniacs and 1 drug mets. Fan named Chet. Shep, are you serious? Did you hit your head? This ass was worse than a Knicks fan's dread. Maggie and Perloff can't stop their laughs. Rich eyes and staff make memes in your behalf. Zach Geld nearly dropped his mic. Reader said, man, this can't be life. Even Bogusch, who never reacts, just sent a text, cheats on crack. LeBron's got meetings, got billion-dollar deals. You're begging for airtime with 5 out of needle deals. Shep, how did this idea take flight? LeBron doesn't know you, he barely knows midnight. This is getting set there, and you're in dollar deals. You're begging for airtime with 5 out of needle deals. Shep, how did this idea take flight? LeBron doesn't know you, he barely knows midnight. You got rejected and you're feeling slighted. Dude, the Lakers PR team was so excited. They took screenshots, they sent it around. You guys won't believe this insane clown. Shep, are you serious? Did you hit your head? This ass was worse than a Knicks fan's dread. Maggie and Perloff can't stop their laughs. Rich eyes and staff make memes in your behalf. LeBron's not calling, Not today, not tomorrow, not ever.
Oh, no time. Zach Joe nearly dropped his mic. Reader said, man, this can't be life. Even Bogusch, who never reacts, just sent a text. Sheep's on crack.
LeBron's got meetings, got billion-dollar deals. You're begging for airtime with five-fighting meal deals. Shep, how did this idea take flight? LeBron doesn't know you, he barely knows midnight. This is getting set dead. What's going on? Do you think LeBron even knows you're on? The whole damn network is laughing at you. Even interns roasting in the group chat too. You got rejected and you're feeling slighted. Dude, the Lakers PR team was so excited. They took screenshots, they sent it all around. You guys won't believe this insane clown. You got rejected and you're feeling slighted. Dude, the Lakers PR team was so excited.
30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Maggie and Perloff Show. Going to get you some quotes from Dylan Raiola, who I think is becoming a household name in sports. Definitely for college football fans, you know him.
I feel like his star is fading. It's interesting. Like, he came into last year with all the hype, and now he's kind of taking a backseat to some other guys.
Well, we'll get to the expectations and how he described his relationship with Patrick Mahomes in just a moment. But Randall is in Austin, Texas, wants to weigh in on the Cowboys. What's up, Randall?
I just want to laugh because I'm from the Bay Area, moved here, been off and on in the Texas area for the last 30 years, and got to work for the 49ers as a catering director. But I'm going to say something. Cowboys aren't that big. I went to a game at the new stadium, and it was 70% 49er fans at the game when they played with Garoppolo at that time. And, yeah, God knows who he was. But it's just – I don't understand the fandom over the Cowboys because people here in Austin, they can give a damn about that. They love Arch. I'll give that to McLovin. But they love their Archie. They do not really give a damn about the Cowboys as much. They're actually more concerned with what Ryans is going to do in Houston because they seem to see that's where the future is. And being a Niner fan here, you can go to any bar here in Austin, and they're full of Niner fans. They love them.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's a high-tech town.
Yeah, Randall, isn't that a big transplant town?
Yeah, it's all high-tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love their Niners. But here's the other thing I was going to say to you, Perloff, is do you know that they are on the road at stadiums? Zillow said that they are the number one team for fans to go to on the road.
The Niners?
Yes.
Interesting.
Fan-wise, like they took over.
You guys travel the best.
I would have thought maybe the Steelers or the Packers.
Steelers and Packers have great reputations for that.
Yeah, but it's
Kansas City Chiefs fans too.
But you can look it up on Zillow, and it's the actual real thing. And I thought it was And then I watched, I went to a couple of games in different cities, and I'm like, holy I'm not the only one wearing red.
Wait,
Okay,
Randall,
cool.
I've got a question for you. Well, also, we know every time when the 49ers play, now the Rams, like it's like a 49ers home game.
Yeah,
But-
they don't even give us the zip code. We can't even go there.
Yeah, right. They don't want the secondary market. They don't want
No.
everyone from San Francisco coming down. Here, I have a question for you. You said you were working catering for the 49ers at one point. Who was
I did it during the Gold Rush. I got to feed Ronnie Lott, Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Joe Montana.
Who was the nicest guy?
Out of all of them?
Yeah.
To be honest, probably Steve Young. Yeah. Steve Young and Ronnie Lott were the two. They were the two nicest guys. I always looked at Ronnie Lott like fear because he was like my hero.
Yeah.
But
okay,
but
flip side.
no.
Who was the one who, gosh, that guy. Who did that guy
That
think
guy?
he was? Yeah, who
I'm
was a
gonna
little
tell
too
you
full
who
of himself?
it was. There was a guy from the 1950s. They call him the alley-oop or whatever. Yeah. Perloff. Do you remember this guy? He was they nicknamed him.
The guy who blocked the field goal, who jumped over. No, I don't know.
No, not that guy from. No, not him. He played wide receiver for the 49ers in the early 50s and 60s. Alley-oop.
Oh, I don't know. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, look him up.
By the way, you were there with. Did you get Charles Haley? A little Charles Haley in nine?
Oh no! Charles was already on the Cowboys at that point. No.
Okay.
You don't. Yeah.
Okay, wait. I'm going to ask the question this way.
He came back.
Who was the most high maintenance? Someone was like, "Hey, can I get this?" And asking you for too many things, and like I want it just this way, and who was just kind of a pain in the butt?
Jerry Rice.
Who was it?
He
Jerry Rice.
His nutrition diet was he didn't want he wanted all the salmon, so we give him the salmon.
Yeah.
And and then I watched. They got Alex Smith was the quarterback. They drafted him too, and it was so funny because all the offensive linemen came in and said, "We want 15 salmons." I'm like, "What?" I can't cook them that fast. I mean, and these guys would sit there and tear them up and then go, "Hey, we want the sirloin steak and we want this and we want this." And I'm like, you actually can sit down and eat that much food? But you get to know them though.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, all right, okay, guys. Yeah, I'll get it to you. Just give me a few. Let me talk to my boys. We're going to get it all running. We'll get it up. But no, it was Ronnie Lott and Steve Young were the best. They were like the community leaders.
Yeah, and Jerry Rice was the most particular about what he wanted to eat.
Well, yeah, his dietitian.
Sure.
Yeah.
Randall, thank you. This has been enlightening. I'm sorry we're up against it. Appreciate the phone call and the perspective of working in catering for the 49ers.
Randall had an interesting point about the Cowboys. Have you seen the Oxnard is empty again?
Oh, I was, I meant to look at that.
So there is definitely this Oxnard where the Cowboys train. There's nobody in the stands. So there is this thing. It's this funny dynamic. It feels like Cowboys fans are losing interest fast, but the national media is still focused on them. So maybe the run is over. Maybe Jerry's not interesting anymore, Maggie.
Well, we asked you that question. Do you still find Jerry Jones interesting? That was from earlier in the week. But did you find it also funny that he said people were more interested in the Houston Texans, though? So it's like they've kind of just shifted their perspective over to DeMeco Ryan?
But then again, he's in Austin.
That's true.
So, yeah, I don't think in North Texas they're really interested in Houston, Texas. But the Texans have a lot of buzz. They're pretty good. I don't. Also, obviously, we've been out of Texas a few times. There are Longhorn hats everywhere. And then the Aggies, there's 60 million Aggie alum. There's a lot going on there. But that is it. Why do we care so much about the Cowboys if Cowboys fans don't?
Well, I mean, we just go off of what do people like to watch.
No, and I say we, like everybody. Like, why is everyone outside of Dallas still as engaged? And I get it. I think he's right.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So we do have some Dylan Raiola sound, him talking about his relationship with Patrick Mahomes. Raiola is the starting quarterback for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Lots of expectations on him this season. And we also have some enlightening sound from Joe Burrow. We got college football. We got pro. We got it all for you. Maggie Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Our team was so excited, they took screenshots, they sent it all around. Then he had the tickets, Rangers on the ice, said Perloff, my guy, it's gonna be nice. But halfway through, Perloff starts to yawn, checking his watch, something feels wrong. He leans in close, whispers with dread, Manny, I gotta go, it's almost time for bed. Manny said, wait, the game's still tight. Perloff said, yeah, but my TV's on tonight. Perloff left Manny stranded all alone, took the last train, didn't even check his phone. Rangers in a shootout, Manny lost his ride, but Perloff was home, TV remote at his side. Meanwhile, Bellotti was supposed to be there, but guess what? He vanished into thin air. Maybe he's sick, maybe he's fine, or maybe he's just avoiding the grind. Man, he's still texting, waiting for a sign. Perloff's in pajamas, feeling just fine. Bellotti's a mystery, where could he be? Probably still dodging responsibility. Perloff left Manny stranded all alone, took the last train, didn't even check his phone. Rangers in a shootout, Manny lost his ride, but Perloff was home, TV remote at his side. Manny's still texting, waiting for a sign. Perloff's in pajamas, feeling just fine. Bellotti's a mystery, where could he be? Probably still dodging Respoid in the grind. Man, he's still texting, waiting for a sign. Perloff's in pajamas, feeling just fine. Bellotti's a mystery, where could he be? Probably still dodging responsibility. Then he walked home, cursing his fate. Perloff's on the couch, feeling just great. Bellotti's MIA, lost in the void. One more shift that he skillfully avoided. Bellotti's a ghost, Perloff's on the couch. Man, he's at Penn Station, trying not to slouch. Then he had the tickets, Rangers on the ice, said Perloff, my guy, it's gonna be nice. But halfway through, Perloff starts to yawn, checking his watch, something feels wrong. He leans in close, whispers with dread, Manny, I gotta go, it's almost time for bed. Manny said, wait, the game's still tight. Perloff said, yeah, but my TV's on tonight. Perloff left Manny stranded all alone. Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Obviously, Joe Burrow has to be feeling tons of urgency this upcoming season, and not one but two very important players are not at training camp. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. The first one, of course, is Trey Hendrickson, who's made it's been not quiet at all. He's no effort to hide it. Why should he? That he is upset with the contract offer that the Bengals have given him. So he's not even in the state of Ohio right now, Pearl. And then Shamar Stewart is their first-round draft pick who is not happy about language that's in what we thought was kind of a boilerplate rookie contract, but he's taken issue with it, and he is not there.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Hendrickson, very important. I'm not sure Shamar Stewart was ready to go. Remember, he had basically 0 sacks in his entire college career. He had 4 sacks in 3 seasons. So I think he was pretty raw coming in. They're totally different. But that whole defense runs around Trey Hendrickson. If he doesn't show it, it does feel like we're headed possibly that way, then my God, are the Bengals going to be easy to score on, Maggie?
They were last year, and it cost them. I mean, a season where you got a fully healthy Joe Burrow, and you can't even make the playoffs. Now, it was a failure all around, although mostly on the defense because I don't know. They didn't hold up their end of the bargain.
Definitely not all around. It's just the defense. I mean, we watched a quarterback show on Netflix recently, and just every time we were there for these games, the way that the defense blew these games, and one game they missed a kick, but the way these defense blew these games was unbelievable. They couldn't get a stop at all when it mattered.
So Joe Burrow, obviously, at training camp, talking to the media yesterday, acknowledged that it is disappointing that Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson are not in camp.
Yeah, obviously disappointing. You know, you'd like to have all your guys out there day one to try to build that cohesion that I was talking about earlier. But it's not how it usually works out. You know, it's a business, and that is how it's gone.
Okay, more from Burrow acknowledging it's frustrating that the Bengals seem to deal with these major contract disputes every training camp.
Of course, it can be frustrating, but, that's the business of the NFL. That's how things go.
Okay, so Pearl, you hear that from Joe Burrow and you think what?
I think I owe you an apology.
Really?
Yes.
Are we recording this?
Several months ago, we argued about Joe Burrow's future in Cincinnati.
Please.
And I said that elite quarterbacks never leave their team mid-career. They leave at the end. And you rightly pointed out Carson Palmer, a little different because he wasn't as elite as Joe Burrow. Carson Palmer never sniffed a Super Bowl. And I said, well, you know what? Joe Burrow is so good that they'll find a way to make it work for him. I'm starting to wonder if Joe Burrow wants to be in Cincinnati. Like, is this all falling apart? He sounds resigned, defeated. You saw it in this documentary that I referenced a minute ago. The quarterback, he was arguing with his coach. He just does not seem happy in a meaningful way. And it's July.
Yeah.
If he's like that in July, what's he going to be like in November?
Well, it depends how they doing. If they're winning somehow, if Al Golden, the new defensive coordinator for the Bengals, can turn this group into something that Lou Anarumo, who, by the way, just about a year ago, everyone thought he was the second coming because
he was amazing.
He was able to actually beat Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid in Arrowhead, and then he's shown the door. So listen, the one thing about Joe Burrow, and I did say that of all the star franchise quarterbacks, if anyone was going to ask for a trade sort of NBA style, like superstar switching teams, I thought it would be Burrow. Now, the one hang up is, would he turn his back on Ohio? He is such a big figure there from there, started his career at Ohio State. That didn't go great. And then left for LSU, obviously catapulted into superstardom. But would he turn his back on Ohio? That's major calculus. But I also question Burrow here because Burrow got involved in all these contract things this offseason.
Yeah.
He was out there stumping so hard, you thought he was running for office with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to get their money. He knows the Bengals. If you give Jamar Chase all that money and you give T. Higgins all that money, there might not be enough left for Trey Hendrickson in terms of guarantees, upfront, cash, all that stuff that's boring but really matters to these teams. I think if Burrow was going, on behalf of Trey Hendrickson in the way that he was for Chase and Higgins, Or maybe if he was like, listen, give me Chase and give me Hendrickson, and maybe we might have to say goodbye to T. Higgins. I think Joe Burrow had a lot to do with guys getting paid this offseason. Maybe Chase would have always gotten his money, but I think he had a lot to do with T. Higgins getting his money. And so for him to stand up now and say, oh, I'm so frustrated and disappointed, well, maybe you could have thrown some of your weight behind Trey Hendrickson. Maybe it would have helped.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I'm an Eagles fan, and they pay everybody. And who else are the Bengals paying? I'm not buying that. I think I'm apologizing. I think in March I might have thought that way. The Bengals are so cheap. Their owner keeps coming out and saying these idiotic things about not wanting to spend money. Forget it. No way. There's no excuse here. This is on the Bengals, and you can hear it in Burrow's voice. He blames the team. And if he had gotten behind Hendrickson and you can't let T. Higgins go. T. Higgins is amazing.
Pearl, this is what
T. Higgins
but
is great. To let him go would be a quarterback not wanting T. Higgins. He would have to be institutionalized because that would be crazy to not do everything you can to get him back in the fold.
That's fine, and I get what he's talking about. But then Joe Burrow, you can't take the contract that takes the biggest percentage of the cap, which his does.
But all
these other huge quarterback contracts, he takes the biggest percentage of the cap. Other guys have structured their contracts different ways. Now, maybe the Bengals offered one and only thing. I don't know. But Burrow's contract isn't one of these like ridiculously team friendly. It doesn't get reported that way. So I don't know. I mean, I get Burrow's frustration, but he also took every dollar.
Joe Burrow I'm seeing is at about $55 million. Jalen Hurts is at $51 million. He took a huge contract, and they pay everybody. I'm not buying it anymore. Forget it. I'm not giving the Bengals any excuses. I'm team players in this one. Burrow, you heard that in his voice, right? He's not happy about this situation. Of course he wants Trey Hendrickson. And also, of course, he had to lobby for T. Higgins. I would hope he would lobby, as a quarterback.
He went above and beyond.
As he should have. 100% should have. He should have done he should have driven to Mike Brown's house and begged to bring T. Higgins back.
Okay, but here's the thing. Why did the Bengals not make the playoffs last year?
Their defense.
Exactly. So if Joe Burrow, really, who is more important?
Well, I mean, but Joe Burrow's going to throw to T. Higgins on Monday. It could be like, go out for a pass. Sorry, I wanted the defensive end more than you. I mean, he's obviously got to help his wide receiver.
He does, but you know what? Sometimes when you're that elite of a quarterback, you need to make it work with guys who are. He's got Chase, first of all. So you got the best wide receiver, him, Justin Jefferson, 1A, whatever order you have him in. And then sometimes you got to make it work with the rest of your receiving core, and it can be more of the Yoshivashes as opposed to the T. Higginses.
So, okay, let me just get this straight here. You're saying if you were Joe Burrow, you would have at least thought about, maybe I shouldn't stump for T. Higgins.
Maybe I should have Trey Hendrickson back because listen,
he's not the GM.
I understand it, but he was out there very publicly putting pressure on the organization. He's the one guy who could do it.
To sign T. Higgins.
Yep.
And you would not have done that if you were Joe Burrow.
Listen, I think I would have been very much about Trey Hendrickson has to be back. If I think that Trey Hendrickson, what do we think about Trey Hendrickson? Yeah. He's incredible, led the league in sacks last year. The defense was terrible. He can't just do it all on his own. So I don't know if maybe there's an idea of we lost with Trey Hendrickson, we might lose without him. I don't know if that's the idea. That would be stupid if you're in Cincinnati. Obviously, you need other guys to step up. It's not defense is not a one-man band.
That's a good point.
But how does Joe Burrow really feel about how good the defense
It doesn't matter. He's not the GM. It's totally irrelevant about how he feels. Like, he's not going to have a 5-year strategy to fix the defense. He plays quarterback. He has an amazing number 2 receiver, probably the best number 2 receiver in the NFL. Of course he wants him to get paid.
Okay, but stars can put their thumb on the scale.
Yes, and he did for T. Higgins,
and he did
as
for
he
T.
should
Higgins.
have.
And should he have done it for Trey Hendrickson?
He's doing it right now. And yes, and by the way, he had said a lot of things about Hendrickson, a lot of positive things.
Of course he has, but it was like, it felt like because I've listened to a lot of those interviews, it felt like he was Jamar Chase 1, of course.
Yeah.
T. Higgins 2, and then Trey Hendrickson was like the third guy who needed to get paid. And that's how it's played out, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, T. Higgins is awesome. He had no choice but to do that, and I'm glad T. Higgins got paid. You know, the funny thing about T. Higgins, it's pretty short term. They could get out of that pretty soon, which is a mistake because T. Higgins is definitely, he's number 2 receiver there. He is well within the top 20 of NFL wide receivers. And also, it's a relationship thing, too. Doesn't he have to stump for him?
Also, T. Higgins only played 12 games in the last 2 seasons. 12 games in 2023, 12 games in 2024 because of injuries.
If he was on the market, if he had made the free agency market, would he be the number 1 receiver out there?
Yeah, probably because Devontae Adams is older. Yeah,
I'm Joe.
For sure. But, I mean, he still has missed games the last 2 years. He's fantastic, but would he have broken a record for highest paid wide receiver? Like, would he have broken
pure free agent? He'd be way
Jamar
up there.
Chase's extension or Justin Jefferson's or CeeDee Lamb's? No
free
way.
agent, he would have gotten 30. He'd probably be right below CeeDee Lamb.
My question is, so do you feel sympathy for Joe Burrow? And I guess, like, what are the real expectations for the Bengals this year? Because I think the expectations are Super Bowl, no?
It's a two-sided game, Maggie. It's defense and offense. Man, if they can put together a Super Bowl run, then Joe Burrow should just quit and go straight to Canton. How is he going to get this? Well, you just said it. Trey Hendrickson and Jamar Stewart are out. Who else is there? Jesse Bates is killing it in Atlanta. Like, they have no players on defense.
I know, but we've talked about there are 4 clear top-tier quarterbacks, and then we can start talking about everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Although EJ and Manny did not think that Joe Burrow belonged in there, but it was Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Burrow. That's kind of like the 4 people. We'll see if Jaden Daniels plays his way into that top tier or CJ Stroud or some of these younger guys. But right now it looks like 4, and then we're talking about the next tier of guys.
Yeah.
I just feel like we talked about it last week. It goes even beyond Joe Burrow. I think Perloff maybe he's coming, not on Joe Burrow, but coming back to this side of the class. The Bengals are old news. Us thinking about them like this is 2021. It's not happening.
Window closed already.
But
their
still
defense is horrendous. Like,
right.
They can't overcome that.
But Joe Burrow could win MVP this year, though. I don't think he's old news.
I don't think he can win MVP if your team's winning 9 to 10 games or 8 games even. We haven't seen it. Who's done that?
No, you got to be a number 1 or number 2 seed basically.
Adrian Peterson won in Minnesota when he snuck them into the playoffs.
He's a running back. I think that's different. I think as a quarterback, it's going to be a lot harder. And last season, when the Bengals were kind of in the mix, they tried to shoehorn Joe Burrow into that MVP conversation. But guess what? Like, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen just kept winning games. He's not going to be able to match those guys. That's why I don't think you see him with all the All-Pros or the MVPs. The team's not good enough.
I think that's a poll question. Are the Bengals old news?
Yeah, I mean, you said Super Bowl are in, and I was like, what?
I mean, you got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, one of the best receivers in the league.
I mean, I almost feel like this is a bit of a rebuilding year. They are the
what a waste then. Now you're wasting Burrow's prime. Like, that's the unforgivable part also. If you're a fan of the Bengals, and this might not be a shocker to you, but to be wasting healthy Joe Burrow years is just unconscionable.
The funny thing is their defense. We talked earlier in the show about how nobody knows the names of any MLB managers.
Yes.
I think even amongst an NFL crowd, like a game, you could go and say, other than Trey Hendrickson, name a Cincinnati Bengal defender, and I think most people would shake their heads. They are the most anonymous defense and I think that Mike Brown, he's talked a lot this offseason, and he sounds cheaper and less interested in winning every time you hear him.
You know who people are going to remember, unfortunately, is Joseph, was it Osai, the guy who did the push Patrick Mahomes out of bounds?
Yeah.
And more infamy.
And that's a defense that used to have players. Like, they had guys. I watched them last year, and they blamed Lou Anarumo for everything. I'm like, this guy was the best defensive coordinator a couple years ago. Now he forgot how to coach defense. No, you have no players.
They keep drafting guys though in the top 100 on defense, and
they're not working out. And maybe this is the year some of those young guys step up and they start to play towards their draft status. But I just watched this team, and I don't see a team that's a Super Bowl contender at all.
I recently watched the Bengals-Rams Super Bowl, which the Bengals should have absolutely won. Samaje Perine just gets 3 more inches. But their best defensive player, I think, remember Jermaine Pratt, who was released? He was all over the field. And they're like, well, we don't need him back this year. Like, it's a personnel thing. And that's what I think. It's not coaching. It's they do not want to pay for a defense for some reason. It's killing them.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. If you would like to weigh in on the Bengals, are they old news? Speaking of the AFC North, we also have a poll question out here. Who needs a playoff win the most this upcoming season? Pittsburgh Steelers edition. Now, TJ Watt was doing an interview recently where he said the fact that he has not won a playoff game in his 8-year NFL career is, hurts his legacy. So we asked who needs a playoff win the most, Aaron Rodgers, TJ Watt, or Mike Tomlin. Would you like to see and hear the results, early results, Pearl?
Should meet his brother TJ. He's the man.
Absolutely.
77% of you guys are saying Mike Tomlin needs a win more than Aaron Rodgers or TJ Watt. And it's funny, it actually squares. I was just talking to one of our head of sales here, Brian Rooney, in the hallway, and he is a diehard Steeler fan. I asked him what his answer would be. He said Tomlin going away. And it got us into a side topic of, do you blame defensive players when they don't win Super Bowls? Like, would Ray Lewis or would LT or any of these amazing guys?
Lawrence Taylor, by the way, not LaDainian Tomlinson.
I said defense. I hope people
knew
that.
I know. But he also famously did not win. Well, he's the guy who did not win and became super famous.
And let's not forget Shadow.
So, do these guys need Super Bowls to bolster their legacies? And I think we were pretty split on the show about whether Ray Lewis and these two specifically, how much did it help Ray Lewis and LT that they won Super Bowls and they are thought of two of the greatest ever?
Yeah.
Reggie White also, won a Super Bowl, and I think it helped him. And I think it hurt
really well in that Super Bowl.
And I think it hurt Bruce Smith.
Definitely.
Not that people don't know Bruce Smith or remember that he was great, but if he had just won one of those Super Bowls, maybe he's in the conversation with Reggie White. Probably not LT.
Yeah, I mean, sacks are funny too because like the sack leaders are not all. Kevin Green, right, is really high up.
Yeah,
and he's not thought of as great a player as Bruce Smith or Reggie White. He's never in that conversation. So I'm not sure exactly how you figure this out. Bruce Smith, you remember that team for offense, not defense. That's the bottom line. Jim Kelly was not as great a player as Bruce Smith, but the reason the Bills made 4 Super Bowls is because you had Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Jim Kelly.
Sure.
So I do think it's the team success defines defense as well.
EJ, you think we would believe LT and, these guys and Ray Lewis would be just as good even if they didn't win Super Bowls?
I really do. I think that, again, Ray, the 2000 season was so much about him that if you wanted to convince me, I can maybe be convinced that Ray. But I think with Lawrence Taylor and just how dominant he was, I don't think that we would say anything different about him, whether he won a Super Bowl or he didn't, And I'm thinking about the guys from my era, my generation, who were great defensive players. I think about like Darrelle Revis winning one with the Patriots. Does anyone care about that?
Yeah, but I mean that's because that's different.
He was good. He was good for them too.
He was pretty good, but he was known as a Jet.
Right, but I mean, but
people even forgot he was on that. I even kind of forgot he was. Which year did he win?
I think most people don't think Darrelle Revis has a Super Bowl ring. Like
which year did he win? I don't even remember.
For Air, EJ, is kind of like the 2000s. Can I just tell you, for the defensive guys who made the first team, how few of them actually won Super Bowls? So, let's see, Jason Taylor.
Yeah, again, I was shocked when he made a first ballot Hall of Fame, but go ahead.
Julius Peppers.
Ooh.
Did not win, right?
We lost, yeah.
A couple that did win, Dwight Freeney, Michael Strahan. Okay. Richard Seymour. Did he win with the Patriots? Yeah. Okay, Warren Sapp is on here. So some guys obviously did win. Yeah. Kevin Williams, Leroy Glover, linebackers here. Now it's Ray Lewis, Derek Brooks, Brian Urlacher, didn't win.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Zach Thomas is on here. DeMarcus Ware. Now, Joey Porter is on here, right? He won. So it is kind of Champ Bailey. I can keep going down. Charles Woodson. We can keep doing this. But these guys we think of as being great players, and they are great players. And I don't think it hurts them that they didn't win.
Ware won.
Yeah,
Ware did win. I'm sorry.
I mean, you just named a lot of guys who won.
No, I know. I'm just naming you the list.
Yeah, half of those guys didn't win, though, I would say.
The greater half won.
I think some of that greater half
way ahead of Brian Urlacher.
I think some of that greater half is I think it's because they're just better players.
Yeah, they were greater players.
I don't think like Derek Brooks was better than Zach Thomas because he won a title. I watched him play. Derek Brooks was all over the place.
But Zach Thomas winning a title would have been such a game changer. That guy is so underrated.
He is underrated.
But here's the thing. The first team of those linebackers for the All-2000s team was Ray Lewis, who won, Derek Brooks, who won, and Brian Urlacher is on there as a first team, even though he didn't win.
Right, but Ray Lewis is considered much higher on the all-time list than Brian Urlacher.
He is, but this 2000s list has them all together as the first team, not ranked. They're all together.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So, I don't know. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Did we get to the bottom of that? What do you think? Does a defensive player have to win a Super Bowl to help their legacy? Quickly, Jeff's in Rochester is a Bengal fan who is fed up. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. That's right, Maggie. I am in Bills country, but I've been a Bengals fan my whole life. And I was just listening to what you guys were saying about Burrow and him being frustrated with the front office, and I totally get it because it's been kind of a frustrating existence with them not paying players over the years. But I think they're finally doing that. I mean, they made Burrow the highest paid player at his position, and the same with Chase, and they brought Higgins back in. As far as Trey, I hope a deal gets done because he is great at rushing the passer, and they don't have anyone else on that defense. But as far as Shamar Stewart, their first-round pick goes, I mean, this kid is looking for he's looking for a contract that basically allows him to do stupid things and still get paid for it. And the Bengals are trying to put language into his contract saying, no, you can't do that. So I get it. The Bengals have a reputation for being cheap, but I think they're trying to overcome that. And I think Burrow's just tired of answering these questions.
Yeah, so, Jeff, thank you for that. And I think Jeff does speak a bit for the fan base, Pearl, where you're frustrated with not paying Hendrickson. The Shamar Stewart one, though, is a little bit more gray area. I think you want to side with the player because apparently the language in the contract has changed recently. But is it all that much different than what every other rookie in the NFL is signing? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to read that Shamar Stewart story in Pro Football Talk about 100 times and gotten nowhere. I frankly don't even care.
Well, you'd care if you were a Bengal fan and you wanted him to show up.
I do not expect – we saw Shamar Stewart play a lot of college football. If you think that guy is going to save that defense, I am so sorry. It's not happening.
888-710-4ISN. Okay, coming up, we will do our NFL superlatives. What was the biggest offseason acquisition? Do that next, MVP.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Am I winning any polls today? I feel like I'm having an off day. Usually I don't want to judge my show on how I do on polls, but I was making an argument that TJ Watt needs his W for the Steelers. I got crushed on that one. Mike Tomlin beat him, what? Who needs a championship the most? 76%?
That's where it is right now. I mean, there's still time to go vote. But yeah, who needs a win the most, a playoff win the most this upcoming season? Mike Tomlin.
We do not care.
TJ Watt or Aaron Rodgers, now 76% saying Mike Tomlin. You can go vote at Maggie and Pearl.
Yeah, and then EJ and I are debating whether who needs a Super Bowl more, offensive or defensive players. I was just thinking about in the break, offensive players get to score a touchdown and be on TV no matter what. They know a linebacker or a cornerback, they kind of need to win Super Bowls anyway. But I think by logic, anyway, I'm going to lose this one too. It's a Thursday. It's a nice day. You know what?
It's not an indication of who you are as a person, Pearl. You got to go Scotty Scheffler on this thing.
Well,
you got to find your joy other places besides these poll results.
Well, no, I think I would win that poll. It's just too hard to put into a poll. It's too complicated.
Ryan Day, the head coach of Ohio State, actually brought up Scotty Scheffler yesterday when he was saying he was on the Cover 3 podcast, and they asked him, so how has life changed since you won, or how does it feel since you finally won the title, sort of get the monkey off your back? And he said the first thing he brought up was Scheffler.
Yeah.
Like this idea that, you have this sustained period of feeling fulfillment after you win is false. It's, it's pretty much back to you enjoy it a little bit. You get to do cool things because of it. He said, go to the White House and play golf at fun golf courses and stuff. But then it's pretty fleeting.
Doesn't everybody here agree with that? Everything good that happened in my life, except for my marriage, the high lasts 5 minutes, and then I'm back to the normal, if not lower. Aren't you like that?
I like to think it lasts more than 5 minutes. I mean,
I'm still high on the 2009 World Series. Go Yankees. Shoot.
Oh, really? I think it's actually chemical. If you get a huge adrenaline rush, immediately you lose all that adrenaline. Yeah, Nick Saban going back on the recruiting trail at 7:30, I think is more the norm. That's why you stay drunk for about 6 days.
That's how you stay in the glow.
Yeah, I don't know. I so relate to this. Did you have an immediate come down? I'd be surprised if there's any athlete who feels differently. Like, what do you think? They're just like buzzing like that for weeks?
Well,
the boys are buzzing.
I mean, kind of, because I have felt what you're talking about. But as far as like Scotty was saying, like, I don't even understand sometimes why I'm out there. Why do I want to win? Like his was so much more existential. He said a lot of things, but that was one of them. Like, what am I doing here? Just sort of this. What are we all doing on this crazy planet? Like, I think if you have a singular focus and you want to be great and there's something to chase, then you have your answer right there.
No, he said family and faith are much more important to him than winning. That's what he said specifically. That's what I'm doing here.
Right. And he also said, I sometimes question, why do I want to win? Like, what is this? What do I want to get out of all of this?
Yeah.
You know, and I think if for what I'm used to for guys like Brady and Michael Jordan, maybe, and it was just the chasing history was part of it.
But they definitely always felt empty. They always talked about, like, it was never enough. It never filled that giant hole inside of them, and that's why they're so amazing. They kept chasing that. And I'm sure for Ryan Day, can you imagine how it's Ohio State? We talked about this. If he loses to Michigan, is he on the hot seat? He probably had to pick up the phone at 8 a.m. and start working again. I couldn't picture him being happy. Especially the way we ripped that poor. You tried to fire him earlier this week by advance losing to Michigan.
I didn't try to fire him. I just said that the fan base is ready to turn on him. And I stand by that.
And he's a reigning champion coach. Yeah. No wonder he's not enjoying this.
Speaking of other things that came out, this is just a quick one. We're talking about Dylan Raiola, who is basically like a Patrick Mahomes kind of lookalike. He was describing to those guys on the Cover 3 pod, they got some great interviews this week, about how he and Patrick Mahomes have a Kobe, Michael Jordan type dynamic.
I'm not comparing myself to Kobe or anything, but like Kobe did to Mike, that's kind of what it is for me to Patrick. And so for him, like you said, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, if not the best. And just for me to be able to have someone to look up to, talk, call, whatever, and then kind of the comparisons is kind of everything outside, right?
Okay, he's just talking about mentorship, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, he's saying I'm not comparing myself to these guys, but then comparing him. I mean, he's had a lot of hype already. The guy was a 5-star coming out of high school, right? Dad played the NFL.
The biggest recruit in the law. He was generational.
He also says he can't control that he looks like Patrick Mahomes and plays the same position.
What?
I can't control God made me look like this, play the same sports, and but no, it's all love. Football's a great game. It provides great opportunities for everybody, so it's pretty cool.
It's just funny because, like, God didn't make you get that haircut.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You could just get a buzz cut and not look like him. What is he talking about?
Well,
you
Mahomes
can also
got the
not
buzz
have
cut.
all the wristbands that look exactly like Mahomes. What is this fool talking about?
And he wears 15 too, right?
Bro, you can wear 10.
God told him to do that.
Oh my God!
No, I have no idea. Does he wear 15?
I think he does. He does. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, he's his favorite player.
Whoop-de-doo, bro. That's weird.
Wore the same sunglasses coming on campus.
He's a weirdo. I'm good with him.
Isn't it funny, by the way?
He's not a weirdo because he looks up to Patrick Mahomes, man.
No. He's single white female.
He's not a weirdo for looking up to Patrick Mahomes. He's a weirdo for trying to be Patrick Mahomes.
For looking like Patrick.
The cosplay's a little bit.
While also being Kobe, but not Kobe. To Mahomes' MJ.
Yeah, this dude is.
Also, I think that was always something that I'm not saying anyone held this against Kobe, but it always was like Kobe was trying to do a Jordan impersonation. I don't know if people necessarily felt like Kobe was doing just be yourself, man. And he was instead trying to do the Michael thing.
Right. It didn't feel like a negative. You're right. People respected Kobe for doing that. He even stuck the tongue out at times. Or maybe, maybe some people had issue, but I don't remember. By the way, Dylan Raiola's star has fallen fast and hard. Like he was the man. Remember his first game? We were all excited to see him.
I thought he played well against Ohio State. They lost at the end, but they were right there on the road. Really tough game. That was a tight game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know? Hold on. Wait, the breaking news. That's for Andrew Bogusch, who's sitting right here. EJ, you're breaking the glass.
Did I
this better
touch
be
something?
good.
I'm sick right now.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Did someone get hurt?
Rich Cimini. Early concern for the Jets. Justin Fields carted to the locker room. He's riding shotgun on the cart, not on the back. Oh, boy. Hashtag Jets. End of tweet.
Oh, EJ, I'm sorry. Okay, well, he's not in the back of the cart. He's riding shotgun in the cart, so that's different.
Donahue was saying he suffered an injury to his leg. That it was definitely a leg injury.
Brian Costello on Twitter. Justin Fields being taken inside on a cart. He pulled up during a play in team drills and has had his leg being checked since.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Oh,
wow.
my gosh.
That feels hamstring.
But he limped off.
He was carted off.
Carted.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've seen everything saying he got carted off the field.
Well, maybe limped to the cart.
Carted inside after limping off and being checked by a trainer.
To be fair, been to that Jets facility. Where the practice fields are and where the building is like a 5.5 minute walk. It's pretty far.
You can't. It probably wasn't his Achilles if he limped off, right? I would think.
Unless he's Kobe
Bryant. Yeah, we were just talking about Kobe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tyrese Halliburton yesterday on the Pat McAfee show said, or 2 days ago, I tried walking it off, but then I just couldn't.
He
just
crumbled to the ground. Face first on the ground, stomping his fist like a toddler.
Okay. Let's try to make EJ feel a little better here. Justin Fields was just carted off from Jets training camp. Is it the first day?
Second.
It's the second day.
By the way, if you limp off the field to the cart, is that being carted off?
You're carted off the field.
But he wasn't carted off the field.
To the back.
None of this is
making
EJ feel better.
he walked off the field and got on the cart, I believe.
Yeah, but then you're being given a ride to the back room, to the training room. That's being carted off.
Well,
okay, I've got two things to make EJ feel better. Number one, it is a loaded quarterback class next year.
Here, I got something to make you feel better. Your whole season's over on July 24th.
Yeah, you're winning 2 games
It's
this
looking
year.
up for you, EJ.
Listen, the team openly tanked a season when they had a top 3 draft pick at quarterback to try to get Trevor Lawrence. You've been here before. They just got to do it right the next time, not end up with Zach Wilson.
How's your Hawaii rebuild going, EJ?
Oh, my God.
That's your college
I'm just sorry,
football video game.
Did you not think you were going to be in the draft class next year with Justin Fields?
I mean, I didn't think we'd win 3 games.
Okay,
the lowest paid starting quarterback in the NFL.
I mean, it's football. Let's play the game. Let's see what happens. I was excited to see what Justin Fields is going to do in a new offense, new team. His buddy Garrett Wilson.
I mean, he's a huge college quarterback.
Yeah,
he was a
I wanted to
first
see
round
it.
pick.
You're not you're the last year's Steelers. You're not paying anything. You know,
No, I
you
know,
went to
but
bed,
like that's the hope is that hey, like we found money. We found a $20 bill on the floor. Maybe he's Jared
right.
Goff.
That was the hope, but
Yeah.
I do think like the win total is like what 5 or something.
But now, now if he's really injured,
Then
that hope
3.
is gone. We don't have any now. It is just okay. Draft time, baby.
Okay,
It's July.
Justin Fields got carted off at Jets training camp today, so we're reacting to that news that just happened. So I said I'll make EJ feel better, loaded draft class next year. And secondly, got to keep the trying to win the war here, not the battle. Trying to find your future QB. So I have a second idea for you. Trade for Shador.
Let's just get to lunchtime today.
It's not a bad idea.
Have the ham and turkey.
Well, would you want Flacco or Pickett?
What about Shiloh?
No, I'm saying if you're trying to find a young quarterback, you just said they're trying to find a $20 bill on the floor. You don't want Flacco. You already did. It was a disaster. You need to go to Kenny Pickett. I don't think you're into Kenny Pickett. Go to Shador.
But then you have the number 1 pick next year.
Right. So
Okay, so then take the number 1 pick.
that you don't
But
care
you
about.
maybe found money with Shador. If he ends up being good, he fell to the 5th round not because of football. Let's all acknowledge that.
He's 4th string.
Exactly.
On the Browns.
So the Browns will let him go.
No, I mean, like, what does that tell you?
It tells me the draft got messy because of a lot of things I think that had not to do with football, whether it was Shador's attitude, whether it was Dion, all these not football things that maybe don't matter all of a sudden. If he's, if it's just based on football talent, you could do a lot worse.
I need to smoke. I don't even smoke.
I've got Zins. You need some Zins? buddy?
Maybe it's just a cramp, EJ.
By the way, I wanted next year's draft class quarterback. So overrated already.
Oh, great.
Putting Drew. People are talking about next year's class 2 years. That's where you got to tank for. Next year, someone's going to have to take Drew Aller off their hands. Oh, my God.
Mark Manning.
I can't believe this. This is how this morning's going to end.
We were just talking about Dylan Raiola. Dylan Raiola's going to be like the 8th quarterback taken in 2 years is amazing, dude.
Hey, let me tell you something, EJ. Let me make you feel better. The 2027 draft class for quarterbacks is going to be great with Dylan Raiola.
If you could get a hold of DJ Lagway, dude.
Oh, my gosh.
I can't believe Maggie's idea for good news was hang on till May, till next March.
It's July.
Just sit tight.
Wait. That is a great.
Sit tight for 9
It's a great line.
months.
Did you not think you were going to be in the market for a quarterback next year?
No, not necessarily. It's not that. I want to see the games. Like I'm not the guy who's just like, hey, like yeah. There's some seasons where like your season has no hope, and you know that, right? But like,
yes, this year.
Well, no, but you just traded for or signed a young quarterback who was a high draft pick, who's in a new offense. You brought over the Detroit Lions offensive staff, some of them. Like, I want to see what that looks like. And if it's bad, it's bad. I'm not putting my expectations that high. My expectations were not that high. But the fact that now I don't even get to see that potentially, I want to throw up.
We don't know yet. We don't know.
Maybe I should eat a whole pizza. Maybe
you should eat some of that green tuna jello.
It's not all it's cracked up to be. Oh, man, EJ, I'm sorry for you. 888-710-4ISN. Bogue, sorry. Would you like? We got about a minute.
Nobody here. You're sorry for him. Nobody's sorry for EJ here. Come on.
I am.
I feel bad.
Why?
It's July 24th.
Justin Fields was getting paid $18 million. Who on earth cares?
Because it's July. Had this happened in September,
It's
I probably wouldn't. Had this happened in September, I probably wouldn't have felt that.
Not everyone's team is the reigning Super Bowl champs,
exactly.
okay? It's degrees on this stuff. Sometimes you just want to see competent football. Sometimes you just want a breath of fresh air after that Rodgers debacle. All that stuff.
How you doing?
And some of us came from places with morals
If there
and
was
sympathy and empathy.
website with a link that said Russell Wilson Carter off, would you even bother clicking on it for the Giants? Would you care at all?
Because Russell Wilson is almost 40.
Also, they have their future. Their future is literally on the team. I don't know what the Jets' future is right now.
And you know what else I have?
A gobble gobble goo.
That'd be Jameis Winston.
I got that guy as my backup's backup.
The Jets, there's only
Things are looking up.
one team in the league with a lower win total than the Jets, and it's the Saints. So
I have
with
the
Justin
eye
Fields.
of
So
a
this
tiger.
this is not like Joe Burrow got Carter off. I'm just saying.
Knock on wood. I put that in the universe. Sorry, Bugs. That was it.
The Yankees lost last night, by the way. They had 4 errors.
Bro.
Lost
Make
to
sure
the
to get
Jays,
that in.
8-4.
Then whatever, bro.
Okay.
Oh, who cares?
Lots to do, but we just got that breaking news that Justin Fields was carted off the field. We're not making light of it, just trying to give EJ some options.
making light of
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, by the way, Manny wouldn't even click on Russell Wilson getting hurt, and I'm the bad guy here?
You're both bad, Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh boy.
I've come to talk with you again.
Tough morning here for executive producer EJ Stewart.
Because a vision softly.
As if being a New York Jets fan isn't just punishment enough. Today we get the unfortunate news, according to all of the Jets beat reporters, that Justin Fields was injured on the first play of the second team period today, Pearl. Aaron Glenn, new head coach, immediately stopped the period and moved on to the special teams drill. The cart transporting Fields took the long way to the locker room, avoiding the area where reporters are standing. That's according to Rich Cimini. Now, just a quick note, if you're doing the visual in your head, like, oh, carted off the field is a terrible image. He was sitting in the front seat of the cart. So he's riding shotgun.
And he walked off the cart.
He limped off the field to the cart.
And then he limped off the cart to the locker room, is what Ralph Macchiato said. So it can't be his ACL. That's one thing I would think.
It would not be if it's the knee, they're going to stabilize it.
Yeah, you're not going to be sitting in front seat with the knee.
No, we're just wondering if they're calling it a leg injury, like obviously, but is it more like if it was a hamstring, wouldn't you grab the back of the hamstring? If it's an Achilles, would you be sitting in the front seat?
If he tore his Achilles, I don't think so. But Ralph Macchiato again tweeted, it appears to be his right foot/leg.
Okay.
So maybe his maybe severe ankle twist. Here's EJ, I got to make things worse for you. Can you imagine what if you have a diminished Justin Fields and it's like you're not getting the real Justin Fields, but he's just healthy enough to play?
Oh yeah, he's limping around. So
he's limping around.
So speed that he has is now useless.
And also exactly,
then
like
it's going to be Tyrod Taylor at some point because there's no way he's going to hold up.
Yep.
Well, what if he's like, because you know how hamstrings are. They're so close. Like, you don't know whether you should go out there with a hamstring. Because I'm hopeful that it's not that serious. Like, the two ones you don't want are Achilles tear and ACL. So hopefully it's neither of those. If not, because Jordan Love looked like he was out. Remember he got hurt against the Eagles last year? He bent his knee the wrong way. It was like, well, we're not going to see him. And then he was back 5 weeks later. So that could be. We're early.
So I think I had two good solutions for EJ. One, wait till next year. Good draft class. Two, I think trade for Shedeur Sanders is not off the table here. Let's go to Chris, who's in Kentucky. Feels free, EJ. What's up, Chris? How are you?
Maggie, great to talk to you, man. I know you guys are up against it. Great show as always. So if you guys remember the last time I called in, I'm a native of Western Pennsylvania, so I wanted to weigh in on who needs the playoff win more. And, all right. Aaron's walking into Canton tomorrow. yes, it would be nice for TJ, but I'll tell you why it's Coach Tom and Maggie, and this is the reason. His star was so bright for so long, and now, there's some clouds over it, and the pundits in Pittsburgh, it just irritates the you-know-what out of me, wanting to fire him over the last 4 or 5 years. And yes, has it been frustrating since 2016? Absolutely. But that guy, what he's been able to put together with some of the lack of talent that we've had, we fire him, Maggie. You and I both know he's reemployed in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think just to kind of brighten up the star, if you will, I think the pressure is more on him than any one of the three that are on your poll.
Yeah, you can go vote now. Who needs a playoff win the most this upcoming season? Aaron Rodgers, TJ Watt, Mike Tomlin. And Chris is with the crowd here. Mike Tomlin's air quotes winning this one at 76%. But, the funny thing, Chris, Tomlin is so, involved in, obviously, the coaching staff, but also player personnel. So it's funny because you're giving him credit for kind of doing more with less, but is he also not a part of choosing these players and picking these players? Does he also not get blamed because he's not your average, first-time coach who comes in and the GM's really the one in charge? I think Tomlin has a lot of say in his roster. He gets to pick the groceries and make the meal.
Yeah, but they're a great drafting team. They're a really good drafting team. They just can't find a quarterback. Right? I mean, what was wrong with Joey Porter Jr.? What was wrong with that?
Probably the biggest thing you need to find is Kenny Pickett, and they picked the person who was in their own building.
But after Ben got hurt, they've just been in limbo. They haven't had a top 5 pick.
And I totally agree with you. I don't think Mike, the general manager, pseudo general manager, is as good as Mike, the coach. But we've got, if you guys will see this, we've got 10 to 12 picks with all these top picks coming up. And I've read quote after quote, guys, from Omar Khan. Verbatim, we are going all chips in the center. No matter what we got to do, we are off this quarterback carousel after next April. So,
absolutely.
And we have to. We have to. So, great show, guys. I love it.
Chris, thank you, sir.
Real quick, I got a couple other options for the Jets for EJ.
Okay, so again, if you're just tuning in, Justin Fields was carted off the field today at Jets training camp.
Okay,
leg injury.
I will give you Carson Wentz.
Stop trying to make Carson Wentz a thing.
We're flirted with them this offseason. And how about Hendon Hooker, who was with Tanner Engstrand in Detroit? And the Lions apparently don't love him. But I've always waited. Hendon Hooker, we loved Hendon Hooker. We were a Hendon Hooker crush team when he was at Tennessee.
Well, he got hurt. He got hurt. And then think about it. When Jared Goff had to leave that Lions game, they brought in Teddy Bridgewater, who had been with the team for 14 minutes.
How can Hendon Hooker not be good in the pros now that he's healthy? I don't understand this. By the way, that could really happen because I imagine he's tied to Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engstrand.
I think Shedeur Sanders is your guy.
But then you're in the same position. If he's bad, you're going to just draft another quarterback because the two things you said are a bit contradictory.
Well, what? But it'd be the same thing with Hendon Hooker. It's going to be the same thing with Carson Wentz. Why not make it Shedeur? Then if he's good, found money.
Yeah, but what if he's just okay, then he's your backup next year?
Sure, move on from him. 888, I can't give the number. We got to go. EJ Stewart. I'm sorry, EJ.
This crap is crap.
That's true. Manny Rodriguez, thank you so much. Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan, Louitos.